the Ronnie Lamar used car superstore. When you walk in it, you're going to say, wow, for your lifestyle.
Louisiana Dental Center, your dental home team.
Group, your home field advantage. By Riverlands Insurance, meeting all your insurance needs. And by Louisiana Dental Centers, your dental home team.
No question, this is a big ball game. Everybody's been talking about it. It's a game. It's another game, just like we played last week, just like we played in week 1. If you think it's any different than that, you're wrong. What is important is that you have gone out there with an attitude of making the play and making the best play possible. Whatever happens, put that one behind you and go to the next one. Good, bad, or indifferent, put that one behind you and go to the next one. We understand that? Yes, sir.
Now there's the coaches, and in 51 years, the guy on the left, J.T. Curtis, has probably been in 50 or more of these big games like this, but the guy on the right, Nick Monica, hey, wow, this is his first year as a head football coach and probably the first time he's faced a game of this magnitude.
Well, it is a huge one of that magnitude, but let me tell you something about Nick Monica. He's been in these type of games before, and he understands exactly how to prepare for them. So, believe it or not, he's just ready to get this ball kicked off and get everything underway. And you're right about JT. He's been in some big ones, and this is another big one for him.
Rummel won the toss, elected to defer. So John Curtis will be receiving to get things started. Watch Corey Wren, Shane Goins, Malik Ward, and Javon Davis, all explosive returners, as Patrick Vanderbrook, a very strong-legged kicker with not much wind to deal with, puts most of his kickoffs into the end zone. This one will be 1 yard deep in the end zone and will come out. Shane Goins pulled it in there. We'll see Colin Guggenheim, who we talked about in the open, the Army commit. He started in middle school, actually before middle school, running this as early as 6th grade. And he knows this offense like the back of his hand.
Well, they've been teaching it to him ever since the middle school level down there, running veer offense, and that's what we're going to see tonight. We're going to see veer triple option offense from John Curtis, that vaunted triple option offense that J.T. Curtis has been running ever since he started at the school.
And Guggenheim is coming off the best single game performance in Curtis history last week, rushing for 315 yards and had explosive runs of 86, 69, 41, and 37. That's how this offense can strike at you real quick. And it will strike real quick. On a keeper by the quarterback himself, Guggenheim on the run. He'll be pulled down from behind, but the first play is an explosive play. Gavin Holmes making the stop, but that's what John Curtis is capable of.
Well, he's capable of that. You know, he comes in touching the ball. Every time he touches it, he averages 9.7 yards a carry. Watch him pop this. The quarterback responsibility was just a little wide right there by the scraping linebacker from Rummel. And if you're just a little wide, just a little off, he's going to go the distance. They've got that type of speed, Kenny, in the backfield.
Yeah, they went 68 on the first one, and they're just going to keep pounding that middle because that's where they do it so well. Shane Goins on the run. Here are the offensive starters, brought to you by Riverlands Insurance. Let's take a look at this offense for the John Curtis Patriots.
Well, key offensive players tonight for the Patriots are all of those guys, but take a look at number 3, Corey Wren, a Georgia commit who might be the fastest guy on the field tonight. He's electric when he touches the ball.
Corey Wren just has elite speed. Guggenheim on a keeper, didn't pitch it. He'll get a few inside the 10. Here's a look at the defensive guys trying to stop this, led by a guy named Donovan Kaufman. This is brought to you by Riverlands Insurance.
You just saw Donovan Kaufman right there, a Vanderbilt commit who can play coverage as well as he can play down in the box to stop the run. Made a big tackle right there. He's going to have to stop the run tonight if they're going to have success on defense.
That'll bring up 3rd down and 5. Now, Curtis has an excellent field goal kicker, but usually when they get this close, they score. As a matter of fact, this year, he's only kicked 4. He's only had attempted 4 and kicked them all. So that's how efficient this offense has been in the red zone. On 3rd down, the quick give inside. Corey Wren up the middle, touchdown.
They run the outside there. Corey Wren right there gets a give read. Guggenheim gets the give read, gives it to Corey Wren, and he pops it and he walks into the end zone. How easy was that on the outside there? Great read by Guggenheim right there. That's what Harmy's going to be looking for 4 years when he gets up there. Look at the read right here. See the block down? See the wall off? There it is. Walks into the end zone. Great read right there by Guggenheim. Another look at it. Missing the tackle right there. Should have been coming down to the mesh. Should have been Malik Woodley right there coming down to take the first threat off the edge, and he runs right past it.
Austin McCready in to attempt the point after, and that did look too easy if you're the Rummel defense. It's good, and there is timeout on the field. Curtis, 1 touchdown lead early.
Riverlands Insurance Services, a team of professional agents serving Southeast Louisiana for over 40 years, focused on planning, implementing quality with personalized insurance.
The strength of our company is our core of over 90 professionals specializing in the everyday needs of family to the complex world of business and risk management.
Cost-effective insurance planning is how we help our families and our businesses every day. We don't wait for a disaster, we prepare for them.
Count on Riverlands Insurance Services.
Around here, we like things local, very local. Get the home field advantage when buying or refinancing your home with the local mortgage lending experts. NOLA Lending Group, a division of Fidelity Bank. NOLA Lending, now the proud mortgage lender of your New Orleans Saints.
For more than half a century, Gills Bar has offered services, solutions, and support for businesses and associations looking for happier constituents and healthier bottom lines. To learn more on how Gills Bar can help your business, visit gillsbar.com.
How quick can John Curtis score? In 1 minute and 48 seconds on 4 plays. They go 80 yards. The big play, of course, the 68-yard run by Guggenheim, all rushing. You won't see Curtis throw the ball unless they absolutely have to, or just to keep you honest every once in a while. 7-0 Patriots.
Well, they pop the outside veer, Ken, and we talked about it earlier in the week, how you have to be assignment responsible, and we're going to talk about that as one of the keys for Rummel tonight later, and right there on that drive they weren't. They opened up into a five-man front, and it was just eaten up by the veer offense of John Curtis.
Another strong-legged kicker, McCready, Austin McCready, drills it, and Kyle Wickersham will trot out onto the field, and he is a first-year starter as a junior in this program, and they had to start very patiently with him, and he had a breakout game against Ruston about 4 or 5 games into the season, and he has really been sharp, and he has been lucky in that with a great defense, Wade, they've given him an opportunity. We're not going to see Kyle Wickersham on the first down. We're going to see Donovan Kaufman in a Wildcat. He is a senior defensive player and returner, strong safety. And check that, it's Logan Diggs who took the snap. Kaufman was at running back, and they faked it to him, and Diggs took it on first down. He is the speedster brought down by Craig Goulding.
Well, that's a little change-up right there. Hadn't seen that all year. It's going to be interesting to see how both teams come out with a little bit of the different wrinkles to try to get one step up and see how the adjustments are going to pan out right here in this first quarter.
Well, after the 2-yard gain, 2nd and 8, we will see Kyle Wickersham now. He's your fine drop-back passer. Has good height, 6'3", being pressured. He finally gets it out. Takes a little while to get there, but it does to Tyler Cook. And Cook has enough to move the chains for a first down. The junior brought down by Caleb Spann. Here's the offensive lineup for the Rummel Raiders, their starters, brought to you by Riverlands Insurance.
Well, the guy to watch tonight is Coy Moore, number 2, LSU commit with outstanding speed. Rummel's going to have to get the ball in his hands tonight, Ken, in order to be as effective as they want to be offensively against this really good Curtis defense.
Now they're going back to Wickersham himself, and Wickersham on a keeper, proving, hey, I'm a big guy at 6'3", 227, but I can run it too, and he is very close to the first down. He's got the first down.
Watch the zone read right here. You can see the fake right there to Diggs. The end collapses down. Quarterback pulls the ball. Wickersham pulls the ball. Now, he runs the ball, pretty well. He's a big kid now. He's got a strong arm, but when he has to, his feet can help him out.
An 11-yard gain. He's got a linebacker body for a big, tall quarterback. Throws it well, too. Blitz coming from the other side. They got him. That's Caleb Spann coming from the near side, and Caleb, untouched, meets Wickersham and brings him down for a 5-yard loss.
They brought the strong safety, Caleb Spann, off the corner right here. No place for Wickersham to go. He couldn't even see it coming. He felt the pressure. He tried to evade it out to his right, but Spann just has too much speed to catch up to him. Nobody was left there backside for the protection.
Caleb Spann, a nephew of one of the great athletic names in this area, the great Tookie Spann. Wickersham with pressure again, dumps off the quick screen to Logan Diggs. Diggs a few to the 40-yard line, but he's brought down by Caleb Spann. And let's take a look at this Curtis defense, which is playing lights out so far early in this game. Also brought to you by Riverlands Insurance.
I love this guy, number 48, defensive end, Angelo Anderson. He's a Tulane commit who plays with a motor. Rummel's going to have a plan for him, whether they're going to chip him, they're going to double team him. Somehow they've got to be able to control him tonight. Hey, Kenny, no one has controlled this guy all year long.
Hey, Tulane, he can play inside, he can play outside. He says he likes to play outside more, but he'll play at the next level wherever he can help the team. That's the kind of player he is. Wickersham under pressure, throws again, high reaching grab. Oh, and what a pull down by Coy Moore, who had to go up to grab it. They're going to call it incomplete. They're going to call it incomplete. He couldn't hold it.
Watch Angelo Anderson beat the defender, the offensive lineman to the inside, and really lays a hit on Kyle Wickersham. Wickersham takes too many of those tonight. I don't know if he's going to end up making it through the game. But we just finished talking about Angelo Anderson. That's Angelo Anderson right there. He has a motor. He's going to make things happen. Somehow, you can't one-on-one this guy. They're going to have to come up with a plan for him.
And Coy Moore, well, I'll tell you, he had his hands on it. Oh, so very close. And this punt by Vanderbroek will be they're caught, and that'll be it. It'll be, when we come back, it will be John Curtis football as they lead 7-0. The Patriots in blue. JT Curtis, his team jumps out early on their first offensive possession, leads it 7-0. 51st year as a head football coach. He does it all.
He even washes the uniforms.
He does. He's a principal. He's a headmaster. He's a father, a grandfather. He's an ordained minister. We'll talk about that later on, but he does just about everything. Guggenheim on the keeper. Upset with himself because he lost his footing, and Donovan Kaufman made sure that he stayed down.
Ken, Rummel has nobody right now that I have seen in this five-man front taking the quarterback as an assignment out of this defensive front. I haven't seen it yet. They're blocking the guy, and he averages 12 yards every time he runs the football.
Yeah, it's a first down average. How do you settle this Rummel defense down after that first offensive series? And maybe they have, because look at this as they just clog up the middle, and there's just absolutely nowhere for Shane Goins to go. He's brought down.
It was a great read that time by Aaron Thomas, that Rummel linebacker. Watch him get a clear call right there, and he's going to stick his head right in there and take the dive. That's good assignment football right there by that Rummel Raider defense.
Second on the team in tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 5 sacks. He's done just about everything, and that guy right there, Quentin Cage, has been a big player at his defensive end position also. Third down, and a big one right now for the Patriots of John Curtis. Guggenheim looks him over. Will keep. Fumble. Put it on the ground. If it's recovered by Curtis, it's a first down. Ed got him a first down. It's recovered by John Curtis for a first down. So Robert Pizzolata going, hey, might have been me.
They run the outside veer this time to the tight end side. They're blocking down with the tight end onto the linebacker, who has the responsibility for the quarterback when the ball is straight down the line of scrimmage. He's supposed to be scraping down there in order to pick up the quarterback, but they're blocking him. The term we use is loading the option. They're loading the option with the person that has the assignment for the quarterback. That's how they're popping it.
They're resetting the play clock right now, and that's the holdup right here. Robert Pizzolata, the right tackle, is the young man who recovered that fumble, and he is one of 4 returning players on the offensive line. So you have a strong, experienced offensive line for John Curtis. Well, this will give us a chance to talk about the keys to the game, and our keys are presented always by Lamarck Ford.
Well, for John Curtis tonight, their key for success is they're going to have to minimize mistakes. No fumbles. They can't put the ball on the ground in their veer option offense. If they put the ball on the ground, Kenny, that's like a dagger in the throat. Now, for the Rummel defense, what they're going to have to do to stop these guys, and we didn't see much of it on their first series, is they're going to have to play sound assignment football tonight and get Curtis running backs on the ground. They're going to have to tackle. That's what they're going to have to do.
We talk a lot here, too, about 2 different families coaching. You've got the entire Curtis family as part of JT's staff, and now with Nick Monica, especially coming into this game tonight. You think he called his dad, Frank Monica, and maybe got a little advice on how to even handle a big game like this, or has he been around long enough as an assistant to know?
He's been around it long enough to know.
First down. Shane Goins with a few. And, he's brought down by Kabaz Craig.
You talk about that, Kenny. The thing is his dad isn't going to give him much of the X's and O's. What Frank Monica's going to do is tell Nick, hey, believe in what you do. Coach your kids. Go out and play hard. And that's what he taught him as a young man, and that's what Nick brings to his kids every day at practice and meetings and things of that nature.
Second down. We have yet to see a thrown football until maybe this down, but no, Guggenheim will tuck it under and run. He'll gain a few, but be short of the first down as he crosses the 45 and is brought down. You'll hear this name a lot. After the 5-yard gain by Aaron Thomas.
He was looking right there for Connor Ogeron on the veer pass, running the straight seam down the middle of the football field, but it was covered well by the free safety, Corey Smooth. Corey Smooth stayed home, read his keys right, and covered up the veer pass and did a nice job.
Curtis is 2 for 2 on third downs early in this game, and they're facing 3rd and 3. Guggenheim with a play change. Guggenheim on the keeper, and he'll dive for the first down. They're going to spot it right at the 50, and the chains, the first down marker is right at the 50.
One of the things you're going to see tonight of Curtis's offense, Kenny, is huge splits up front on that offensive line. They love to split the veer. The reason why they like to split the veer in big offensive line splits, it creates natural running creases for their running backs as they use angles and reads in the option game to be able to pop those running backs on those dive plays. So if you look at it, you see, man, that's a lot of room between those offensive linemen. That's the reason why they're splitting those defensive line out, trying to create those natural running lanes.
Go to a one back, and Guggenheim this time smothered in the backfield. Aaron Thomas is there along with Kobe Fields.
Aaron Thomas right there scrapes from his linebacker position and does a really nice job and takes the quarterback. See if we can see him right here coming off this edge. There he is, right there.
Ooh,
that was Kobe
Fields
also.
Almost stripped that football.
Right, and Aaron Thomas was scraping across the top right there to be able to make a nice play. Look how Kobe Fields right here almost takes the ball away. It was a disconnect right there by Guggenheim. He pulls the ball off. It was the right read. Kobe Fields just puts his hands out there and almost strips the ball out.
That was the first tackle for a loss by Rummel. Now Guggenheim under pressure, and he'll throw a diving attempt, and he can't catch up to it. Flag is down. It was intended for Connor Ogeron, the tight end. Now you're going to hear that name Ogeron thrown out a lot. No relation to the LSU coach, Coach O.
Ineligible man downfield, number 75, offense, 5-yard penalty, replay second down.
Our referee tonight is Mark Gervais.
Caught Rudolph Bolds right there, 75 downfield on the play action pass. They fake the veer again, still looking for Ogeron. Instead of Ogeron running a seam route, he runs the flat route. But the difference was Rummel brought blitz right there that time from the backside, and Guggenheim had no time to set his feet to throw the football.
We know what he took. What do you like, 2nd and 11 or 3rd and 16? Second and 16 or 3rd and 11. I said it backwards.
All right. I would take 3rd and 11, honestly. I don't know if I'd want the 2nd and 16.
As explosive as this offense is, I might agree with you. Well, there's Guggenheim, and Guggenheim on the keeper gets all the lost yardage and penalty yardage back and a little bit more. Aaron Thomas on the tackle. That brings up 3rd down and 10. That 3rd and 10 after the 7-yard gain.
That was design quarterback draw. He set his feet, let everything open up. The offensive lineman did a little fan technique, turned all those defensive linemen out, and Guggenheim just takes off right up the middle.
Rummel, defense, playing a little bit better. Seems to be settling down after that first offensive drive that took 4 plays, touchdown.
Well, if you're just a little bit off, you're a crease off, an edge off, you're a scrape wrong, any one of these backs from Curtis could go, and that includes the quarterback, Guggenheim.
Timeout for John Curtis, looking at 3rd and 10. They want to talk about it. They will when we come back. Curtis protecting a 7-0 lead. 1:58 to play first quarter.
42 years in a row. Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Your home for the best in coverage of pro, college, and prep sports in the New Orleans area is CrescentCitySports.com. Whether it's news, opinions, live video webcasts of high school sports, or Louisiana's best prep football scoreboard, you can get it all at Crescent City Sports. The name may be new, but it's the same great coverage you've gotten for years from our team of New Orleans natives. Click it now and like us on social media at CrescentCitySports.com.
Here's our Crescent City Sports 5A top 10, and I think 3 of the best teams in the entire state are right at the very top of it. And that's the 2 playing tonight, Rummel and Curtis, and Catholic of Baton Rouge.
Well, all 3 of them are in Division I, and I'm sure we'll touch somewhere tonight on select, non-select, but you've got 3 select teams going 1, 2, 3 right there, and then a non-select West Monroe, Acadiana, and Hahnville, who is in play tonight against Jesuit, which is a select team right here from the Catholic League.
Catholic Baton Rouge defeated Rummel 13-10 in the semis last year, and then John Curtis blew them out 49-7, which nobody saw coming. That big of a score for the state championship last year. In the Louisiana Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Guggenheim on the run on 3rd and 10. Guggenheim holds his balance and somehow pushes forward toward the first, but hold everything.
Way downfield, Ken, somewhere in the secondary there, a flag came flying in at the last second.
Way at the 20-yard line, and he was brought down just inside the 40.
Well, Nick Monica was also screening for a hold at the line of scrimmage, which he didn't get. I could see him jumping up and down and going berserk over that. Great job by Guggenheim evading that rush, getting out there and squirming down there and picking up that first down. We'll see what the flag has to do with whether or not it's going to stand.
It looked like Guggenheim was going to be just stopped short of first down yardage, and somehow he managed to maintain his balance and make the dive. And again, the flag so far down the field, 20 yards down the field from where the tackle took place. Here's Mark Gervais.
During the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 13, offense, 15-yard penalty will be assessed and replay third down.
Now that's Joel Taylor, the wide receiver for the John Curtis Patriots. Here's a question too. Was he down? Does his knee? It goes down. The knee is, it looks down from here. So they gave him to the 39-yard line, which means the penalty is marked back to the 46 of John Curtis.
Well, a couple things going on. You got a bad spot right there by the official, and just a bonehead play downfield by Joe Taylor, which I'm sure he's going to get reamed out on that boundary because that just took important field position away from the Patriots.
Well, now it's third down 14. They'll replay it. Guggenheim in trouble. Guggenheim scrambles, and he can't get away. He has dropped Jordan Williams all over him, and he'll end up being a 2-yard loss. But that is a huge play for the big senior defensive lineman.
Boy, Jordan Williams, he's the sack leader coming in, and he plays with a motor, 6'1", 239. He gets after it right here. Look how he just really rips through that offensive lineman right there trying to protect, and just gets all over Guggenheim and comes down with the 5th sack of his year so far.
Aaron Thomas, the Tulane commit, is the young man who's injured, and he's one of the big playmakers, one of the impact players on this Rummel defense. So even if he has to come out for a little while, Nick Monica knows what a big hole that would be to fill, and he'll talk to Kobe Fields, who just ran over to him about it.
Well, the Rummel Raiders come in tonight, they're nicked up. They're missing a center on offense. They're missing a couple of guys on defense that are from the beginning part of the year. And right now you see Aaron Thomas limping off, which is going to be a huge loss for the Raider defense on the rest of the evening.
And 2 interceptions on the year, a touchdown, second on this team in tackles, including 8 TFLs, 5 sacks. Wow, you're right. They would miss him tremendously if he can't come back. Wow. Well, the Rummel defense holds. And we'll see Austin McCready averaging 45 yards a punt. Send this one as deep as he can in the closing minute here of the first quarter. Actually, it'll be a shorter punt, fair catch called for and made by Donovan Kaufman. Now we've got a little intensity here. Hold on. A little chippy, as you like to say, Coach.
A little chippy out there.
That's Amore Pizzeria. Offers authentic Chicago deep dish and New York style thin crust pizza pies. Open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch and dinner with a full menu including salads, po' boys, sandwiches and wraps, seafood and pastas, and of course the best pizza on the planet. That's Amore, where the food is amazing and customers are treated like family. What's your choice? Is it Chicago style or New York thin crust?
New York thin crust every time.
Yeah, I like Chicago, that big, deep pizza pie.
Well, that's kind of off your keto diet, isn't it?
It'd be off for a month without question.
They run the inside zone
no
right
gain,
there.
nothing going on first down. Jeff Wickersham has got to get it cranked up here. Kyle, Jeff is his dad, so we haven't had a chance to talk about that, but since he has been 5 years old, his dad, Jeff Wickersham, has been teaching him how to throw the football. Of course, a great player at LSU with a brief stint in the National Football League and the Canadian Football League. And when you got a dad like that teaching you, you're probably going to be a pretty good quarterback. Combo! And Curtis has it. They try to run with it, but the play, I think, was down. And it is Kylan White.
Kylan White comes with a huge turnover right there. He comes in on the night with 49 tackles, but it started immediately with the hit on Wickersham from the Curtis defensive line. But how big is that for Kylan White to come up with this? Here we go. Look at this right here coming off of Rummel's right side. Number 44, Marquise Martin, 6'1", 235. Comes in there, strips the ball, right there falling on the ball was Kylan White. Huge turnover, great field position for the Patriots.
Oh, inside, way inside the red zone, down at the 15-yard line. Guggenheim. And boy, the defense for Rummel has found a way to shut everything down, stiffen, and that's Kobe Fields leading the charge.
Kobe Fields was there, Quentin Cage was there. They get a great read off of the tackle who blocks down on the outside veer right there and leaves an open space for that linebacker to get a clear call, what we call a clear call, to be able to step in there and make the bang up on the dive.
Well, Jordan Williams came out. He looked like he may have been favoring an arm or a shoulder, but is on the sideline, looks pretty good. Nobody's seeing to him on the Rummel defensive side. Here's your next carry for John Curtis, and again, once again, as I said, it's tough going as Shane Goings has nowhere to go. Malik Woodery stopped him, and that is the end of the first quarter. And another Rummel player shaken up, Malik Woodery, who made the stop, is going to need a little help as we take the break after one quarter. The Raiders and the Patriots, which will stay unbeaten.
About it. The kids need braces, I need a root canal, and Dad's old dentures are broken. That means 3 dental appointments all across town.
Bobby, A-Bear?
Mom, you need to call Louisiana Dental Center. They see kids and adults and have specialists at every location. They even have Friday and Saturday appointments.
That's great. I'll call him now. But who's going to do the dishes?
Yeah, I know, me and my big mouth.
Riverlands Insurance Services, a team of professional agents serving Southeast Louisiana for over 40 years, focused on planning, implementing quality with personalized insurance.
The strength of our company is our core of over 90 professionals specializing in the everyday needs of family to the complex world of business and risk management.
Cost-effective insurance planning is how we help our families and our businesses every day. We don't wait for a disaster, we prepare for them.
Count on Riverlands Insurance Services.
One quarter of play, and what looked like it was going to be a disaster after one drive. Nicky Monica's defense settled down. They're doing well. Quick look at first quarter stats.
Oh, no surprise there. The only thing is Rummel's going to have to get going a little bit more with their throwing game. Wickersham's going to have to get on target because he's going to have to be a big part of how they move the football tonight. But if you look at those JC, those John Curtis stats right there, it's 114 yards rushing. Imagine that. Veer offense, putting the ball on the ground and pounding it.
68 of that on that first play. The run by quarterback Colin Guggenheim. JT Curtis knows the importance of getting up quick and fast on a defense like Rummel that has allowed so few very points. That touchdown by John Curtis in the first quarter was only the second touchdown allowed by the Rummel defense all year. Guggenheim on a keeper. He fakes so well and then keeps, he dropped the ball, but he was down. And I believe they will call that down before he fumbled the football.
Kenny Curtis is going to 2 tight ends right here to spread that front a little bit with those huge splits up there, which has given them natural running creases inside. They run the outside veer.
Holding, number 68, offense, 10-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
Well, that's one of those mistakes that you can't have. You can't put the ball on the ground, you can't have penalties. That's going to be daggers for John Curtis if they do that. But getting back real quickly, look at this. Look at the crease right here. You see that? Nobody has the quarterback right there. There's the hold right there by number 68. You can see it. He's holding the guy that's got the quarterback right there. That's springs Guggenheim into the secondary. Another thing that I'm noticing here, Kenny, is you're seeing some man coverage now out of Rummel. Okay? look for a little bit more play action pass on some veer passes like we saw a couple times in the first quarter, trying to hit a tight end down the seam to see if the person covering the tight end will make a mistake, step up and play the run, and they dump the ball to the tight end on play action.
All right, here's Guggenheim. Here's the first pass of the game. He's going to unload it into the end zone and somehow pulling it down. An amazing catch by Javon Davis. It looked like it was going to be slapped away by Malik Woodery. And Woodery looked like he had a hand all over it, and somehow Javon Davis keeps his eye on it and pulls it in for the score.
Malik Woodery had great coverage all over Javon Davis, but it was a great pass by Guggenheim. Three-step drop, drops it into the bucket. That's the drill you call throw it into the bucket, puts it right over the top of Malik Woodery, who had great coverage and great position right there. It was just a great throw and great catch by Javon Stoudemire and Colin Guggenheim.
He slaps at the ball, and you ask yourself from both angles, how did he miss it? And what a great job by the receiver to keep his eye on it and hold it. My goodness, Javon Davis, what focus as Curtis is up by 2 touchdowns.
Around here, we like things local, very local. Get the home field advantage when buying or refinancing your home with the local mortgage lending experts. NOLA Lending Group, a division of Fidelity Bank. NOLA Lending, now the proud mortgage lender of your New Orleans Saints.
Having a collision center on the premises where you sell new and used vehicles is a dream come true. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. It's open now. One thing about us, we strive for perfection. Our pre-owned department is magnificent. We are Kelly Blue Book authorized dealer. All makes and models, we're buying them every day. We will purchase your vehicle. We will pay off your existing loan, whether you buy a car or not.
Around here, we like things local, very local. Get the home field advantage when buying or refinancing your home with the local mortgage lending experts. NOLA Lending Group, a division of Fidelity Bank. NOLA Lending, now the proud mortgage lender of your New Orleans Saints.
Now the scoring drive, 4 plays, 15 yards after the fumble recovery. Took 56 seconds. And the great catch by Javon Davis from Colin Guggenheim, 21 yards in the score. Great defense by Malik Woodery, but somehow he just missed the football, and it's 14-0. Hey, Curtis has thrown the ball 1 time.
Well, one time drop back. They've thrown a couple play action, but that's the big drop back thing that they like to do. 3-step drop and get rid of the ball.
And this one will go into the end zone and come back out to the 20. All right, there's more Catholic League action tomorrow with a special Saturday edition of the LHSAA Game of the Week on Crescent City Sports. Watch Archbishop Shaw and St. Augustine from Tad Gormley Stadium tomorrow afternoon at 2:30 live on CrescentCitySports.com or the LHSAA Live app. Well, so far, we talk about time of possession, and so far, Rummel 8 plays to 18 for John Curtis. Kyle Wickersham. Pass batted away. Wow. Coming in hard. Was that Matthew Jane? Or Caleb Spann? Let's check it.
Here's another good look at it right here. Coming
That's
off
Caleb
of the
Spann.
edge. That was Caleb Spann coming off of the edge. They showed that blitz earlier in the first quarter. Right there, he does a great job. As Wickersham's arm comes up, what does he do? He's taught well. Stop, get up in the air, and try to get your hands on the ball, and he does that great job right there by Spann.
How about the vertical by Caleb? Because, hey, Wickersham's 6'3". He's got the height advantage, and
that was Jalen Sturgis right there.
Flag is down as we see Jalen Sturgis run for the first time. Sturgis is the grinder. He's not the speedster. He's the grinder when you just need to go forward and get about 4 or 5 a shot.
10 from his foot.
They're going to have to get their running game going, Kenny, if they want any.
Number 75, offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat second down.
As I was saying, they're going to have to get their running game going tonight if they're going to have any chance of moving the ball in this Curtis defense. They're going to have to mix in the pass also. Wickersham's going to have to get going. they've got to get something going a little bit to start moving those chains, because right now they're getting dominated by the guys in blue.
The Curtis defense is a whole lot better than most people give them credit for. They give up some points, but that's because the offense takes and puts so many points on the board that J.T. Curtis will pull his starters early or midway through a game, and you'll see seconds and thirds playing. Wickersham, he's got some room to run if he wants it, and he does. And he's short of the first down, but it'll be third down and short as Kylan White. I'll take that back. It's going to be, he's still behind the chains. It's going to be third and very long. 3rd and 14.
He had nowhere to go with the ball that time. Everything's covered up by that Curtis secondary. Great job. They're playing a too high coverage back there. A lot of zone coverage. That's what you're going to see the rest of the night out of the guys in blue. They did a great job on that down, and that forced Wickersham to get out of there, and there was no place to go.
The one thing Curtis is doing is they're putting a lot of pressure on Wickersham, so he's just going to try to run past that pressure. And he had a long way to go before Craig Gouling made the tackle. Do we have another flag down?
What you've got is you've got Kyle Wickersham taking a hit to his knee, and he's down on the Curtis boundary right there. That's Kyle Wickersham right now on the turf with the trainers looking at him.
Yeah, I saw the official reach for a flag. He did not throw it. And Kyle Wickersham. Now let's take another look at it.
Look at the pressure the guys in blue are getting on. Terrible block out there by number 67, Nick Perkins. He just lets the guy beat him to the inside, doesn't move his feet right there, and all of a sudden, Wickersham's trying to set his feet to throw the football, no place to go. What does he do? He lights out of there, and then flying up from his secondary position was Craig Gouling, taking the legs out of Wickersham, and he's still down on the turf.
And he landed on that left shoulder.
It could be it could be a knee, it could be a shoulder.
Well, Wickersham has been a steadying influence. He's not going to want to come out, but he'll have to come out for at least one play, and he seems to be okay. It's also 4th down, so that's fine. They're punting the ball. Good run by Wickersham, but he was way too far back and had way too long to go.
It started at the offensive line, though, Kenny. The biggest problem right now is they are not blocking the Curtis front. They're getting beat to the inside by technique. They're getting knocked off the ball by the defensive line. They can't run the ball. They're going to have to make some adjustments on the boundary.
Patrick Vanderbrook stands back at his 8-yard line now. Notice the 3 deep.
Back up one, back up, please.
This is not the place or the time in this ball game to try anything fancy. What they need from Vanderbrook is just one. Oh, he dropped. And he'll send it deep. Will not be fielded. And Corey Wren just lets it bounce by him. And with a 14-0 lead, John Curtis will have it there. Here's tonight's Alumni Spotlight, looking back on great players in these program histories, brought to you by the NOLA Lending Group. A dozen former Curtis players have gone on to play in the National Football League, including a couple of active pros like Duke Riley and Kenny Young. Wade, look at this list. If you had to pick maybe the best player in Curtis history from this list, or even more, who would it be?
The guy I would pick isn't on that list. I'd pick Jeff Curtis. He's on the staff. Let me tell you about Jeff Curtis. Jeff Curtis did all the little intangibles that he needed to do, from not just being a great player with the ball in his hands, but also holding the ball on PATs and field goals for all the years that he was at John Curtis and at Tulane. He was an outstanding athlete. I don't think you have to play in the pros to be one of the greatest players of all times in a program like John Curtis.
You're absolutely correct. And again, the Rummel defense just smothers as Jeff
There's
Curtis.
A good look at Jeff Curtis right there. So he's my pick.
2-time state championship baseball coach at John Curtis also. He loves that role as much as he loves this one. Maybe the heir apparent if JT does step down in 4 or 5 years after he makes a good run at the record of 621 victories held by the retired John McKissick from Summerfield, South Carolina. What a career that man had. Coached until his 80s. JT will be 73 in December this year. Now they'll use the pitch. Shane Goins Nowhere to turn the corner. Malik Woodery is there to assure it. Well, as you can hear, we have coaches in the press box with us. They'll get chippy and excited sometimes, too.
All right, I've got to laugh. I'm sorry because
you were there.
Because I've been there. No,
You've been there, absolutely.
Curtis brings a blitz off the edge. Donovan Kaufman comes off the edge right there. They bring two to the quarterback, left the pitch open. So what does Guggenheim do? Just like he's taught to do, make sure you give the pitch up. He did a great job right there getting the ball out there, even though it was for a short game. But look for more of that as the night goes on.
3rd down 10, and this is a big defensive play. Boy, no pressure on Guggenheim at all, and he has a lot of time to get the ball to Joel Taylor, and Taylor fights his way for 1st down yardage before being bumped.
Joel Taylor runs a nice little out route right there, and Guggenheim sprints to his right and dumps the ball out there perfectly. Little short sprint right there, sets his feet, and kicks it right out there to Joel Taylor. Joel Taylor makes a nice pickup. Ooh, almost a horse collar there by number 22, Gavin Holmes. Let's see if you can see it. Ooh, you can't grab the back of the helmet right there.
Well, they move the chains, and Corey Wren on 1st down, always dangerous because of his blazing speed, will get a few.
Corey Wren might be the fastest guy on the field tonight. They've got some fast people out there, Kenny.
JT said he's a 10-300 meter.
All right, 5'7", 165 pounds. He averages 14.7 yards every time he touches the ball.
And there's Guggenheim on the keeper. Corey Smooth on the stop, just short of the 1st down by about a half yard, a gain of 7.
Guggenheim gets a perfect read right there, disconnects the ball from the dive read, and keeps the ball and gets right down to a 3rd and short, or maybe less than a yard right there.
And on that, you usually just hand off to Shane Goins, and Goins takes it for usually a yard or more, as he does Kobe Fields. With the tackle after the 1st down, chains move again, and another Rummel player is hurt. This time it's Jordan Williams, he took himself out of the game earlier and seemed to be just a little shaken up. And again, this is just a Red Cross team right now with a lot of injuries, and they can't afford any more in this game.
Looked like he's holding on to his left shoulder right there. You know, but getting back to this Veer offense, you know, one of the greatest quotes I think comes from the movie Remember the Titans, where they talk about how running the Veer offense is like Novocaine. You just let it numb you to death until you just pops one. And we've seen that happen so far tonight with the Curtis offense.
Well, let's take a look as Curtis had a great day in the state championship game. Dante Thomas intercepts and sets up a Corey Wren touchdown. Look at the speed of Corey Wren as that interception set it up. And suddenly it was 14-0 first quarter. He hasn't lost anything from last year. After a Bears touchdown, Wren had done it again. Guggenheim rushed for 160 yards. And he had MVP honors, and Curtis claimed its 27th state title in school history with that 49-7 victory.
You know, one of the greatest things about the Veer offense and triple option offense, you know, everybody says you've got to run all these spreads now and do all these certain things, but everything comes back, believe it or not, to running some sort of option. They're doing it with the spread option, offense too. Look at the 27 state championships right there on that list, right there ahead of Haynesville, who has 17.
And look, he's won them at just about every division, any class they've played in, from 2A on up. He's gotten Corey Wren just picking and choosing little seams to run to and get through, and he does. And Kobe Field finally makes the tackle. But that's how Corey Wren is. He can pick and choose, but don't give him a seam where he can see green in front of him, because he'll shoot through it quickly, and then it's hard to catch him with that speed.
Well, they ran power right there to the spot where Jordan Williams had just vacated. He's off the field on the sidelines with a hurt shoulder. So they were testing the mettle of the new guy that's in there from the Rummel defense.
Jordan Williams, talk about him, and hope he comes back into the game for Rummel, as do all Raider fans. Guggenheim on a keeper, and Rummel's playing that assignment football defensively. You talked about Donovan Kaufman closed that one up for the Rummel Raiders. But go back to Jordan Williams for a minute. He's the guy that broke the little, hey, we've got a nickname for our coach. He's Nick Monica, but we like to call him Little Nick Saban because we respect him so much as a tactician on the way he has helped us defend almost any offense we've come across. Your third down. Guggenheim upended. Wow, Quentin Cage hit him low and flipped him up and over.
Quentin Cage sitting right there. The loaded block by the tight end that time didn't get up to Quentin Cage, who was down in the box playing the quarterback. See if you can see it right there.
It's a first
right
down.
There. You can see the missed block right there by the Curtis offensive lineman. Great read by Guggenheim. He tucks it up inside. Nobody blocked number one. He makes a great tackle right there in Guggenheim.
Hey, Army Cadets, are you watching? Number 14 is going to be quarterbacking you guys for the next 4 years at West Point. This is the 10th play of the drive. Curtis doesn't put it on the ground very much. But they're struggling here to find that opening. Shane Goins didn't find anything there. But again, like you said, don't let that fool you. They'll do this drive after drive after drive, and all of a sudden, boom, they pop one because somebody's a half step slow or maybe a half step out of place defensively.
Well, Rummel has come into this ball game. They're going to take away the dive no matter what. And, you know, they've got 8 guys in the box right there, sitting there, waiting to make sure that they take the dive away. They're going to have to account for Guggenheim, though.
Second down, 10. And Guggenheim fakes so very well, turns and hands to Corey Wren, goes straight ahead. Kabaz Craig brings him down.
This is counter option right here. They're going to fake it one way, come back with the counter the other way to Corey Wren, trying to get you to over pursue on the counter to once, or come back with the counter the opposite way of your over pursuit. Great job right there. Great ball handling by Guggenheim. And again, it's a staple of the Veer offense to be able to try to get everybody going in one direction. Let's counter it back to the other.
Curtis is 6 of 8 on third down conversions. This is 3rd and 7. And timeout. The Patriots are going to talk about it. This is their second timeout of the first half, and they've got control of the football and the scoreboard, leading 14-0. Back in a moment. JT Curtis, he knows the importance of putting as much as he can on that scoreboard against a defense that, coming into this game, had only given up 1 rushing touchdown and 2 field goals. But the Patriots have already put up 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing, 1 passing, and Guggenheim on third down wants to throw it again. He's got a man open on the far side, and it's Javon Davis again. He caught the touchdown pass earlier, guarded by Malik Woodery again, and somehow he gets open from Woodery and pulls it down. First
Javon
down.
Davis runs a great route, 7 route, short sprint right here by Guggenheim. Continues rolling to the corner. Great break out of this stem. Javon Davis catches the ball, but the ball is put right on the money by Guggenheim.
Guggenheim again so strong and so good with the faking of the football, and Rummel doing good, I think a good job defensively of staying with who they have to stay with. Jordan Williams is back in the game. He's the one who brought Guggenheim down that time, but not until Guggenheim goes out and gets 6 yards on the run.
Curtis picking up a little tempo right here, no huddle, going straight back to the line of scrimmage.
Guggenheim this time with the pitch. In trouble in the back. Shane Goins nowhere. He'll be brought down for a loss. Donovan Kaufman coming hard, and he loses 7.
I think we missed the read right here, Mr. Guggenheim. Hopefully we can get another look at it by our great crew down in the truck. I think he should have given the ball right here on the dive. See if we get them right there. You see, 35 for Rummel didn't close. Aaron Thomas didn't close down to the mesh very well. Take the first threat. That should have been a give. He's going to look back at film on that tomorrow, and he's going to say, I should have given that ball right there, because I think if he would have given it, Corey Wren would have been standing in the end zone.
And sometimes it's only a miscue like that that stops a Veer offense like this. Guggenheim to throw, and he had a man down there, Joel Taylor, who had a step, but there was coverage close enough by Malik Woodery. And Malik Woodery's getting a workout back there in the defensive backfield.
He's getting a workout because they're going to put him on the #1 wide receiver of John Curtis, and he's going to cover him man everywhere tonight.
Now remember this, with 4th down and 11, your holder is Guggenheim, the quarterback, and your kicker is Austin McCready, who's the backup quarterback. So if they want to fake it, they've got the weapons out there to do it. This would be a 42-yard field goal. He's got a 51 this year. Plenty of range. It's blocked. It's blocked and out of bounds, and Donovan Kaufman blocked it, but a flag is down.
I think they're going to get Donovan Kaufman lining up in the neutral zone.
Number 16, offense.
Oh, my goodness.
5-yard penalty, replay 4th down.
Oh, my goodness. They've got a little legal procedure. They called
How
false start on the kicker.
kicker?
I have no idea how that happened. If they calling it on the kicker, let's take a look-see.
Yeah.
Well, there's the kick. There's Kaufman coming off the edge. I thought possibly he was lining up in the neutral zone. How do you call illegal procedure on the kicker?
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Well, unless somehow they've got the wrong number. Let's see. Well, there you go. That's the reason why. You saw it right there.
Kicker's leg.
You'll see it right
kicker's
there.
Leg was in motion. So now he'll try it from 47. Remember, he does have a 51 this year. This one's up again. And didn't make it. Well, a lot going on, and somehow the Raiders dodge the bullet and have 2 minutes and 21 seconds to work with.
Toothache.
Gingivitis.
Plaque. Cavity. Tartar. Tooth decay.
Gum disease.
Abscess tooth.
What's that?
A filling, not a frown.
A bridge?
You mean I need a root canal?
Come on, man.
The only thing worse than hearing those words is hearing that your dentist can't see you right away. Call Louisiana Dental Center. We'll see you today.
Riverlands Insurance Services, a team of professional agents serving Southeast Louisiana for over 40 years, focused on planning, implementing quality with personalized insurance.
The strength of our company is our core of over 90 professionals specializing in the everyday needs of family to the complex world of business and risk management.
Cost-effective insurance planning is how we help our families and our businesses every day. We don't wait for a disaster, we prepare for them.
Count on Riverlands Insurance Services.
Hey, coming up at halftime, you don't want to miss this because you'll be hearing from both head coaches on a number of things, including how do you build programs that are as good and strong as this, what role family plays in all of this, and believe me, it's whether you're part of the school family or your personal family, you'll get some great answers. What does it all mean? Even JT as he chases McKissick. Kyle Wickersham, okay, he is back behind center, actually in the shotgun, and he'll throw complete on first down. Craig Goulding bringing down Logan Diggs.
Rummel goes to open, no backs in the backfield. They spread the offense out. They're trying to get more passing lanes out there from that Curtis defense, and the ball's delivered very well by Wickersham. That's what he's going to have to do throughout the rest of the night if they're going to want to get back into this.
The last drive with the blocked field goal and of course then the missed field goal after the penalty, And here's Wickersham on second down and short. Inside screen to Diggs, and he can't hold it, incomplete.
They'll try to get the ball into Diggs' hands by running the jailbreak screen underneath, running him back behind the line of scrimmage, dumping the ball. Diggs usually has great hands. They're very sure, very soft hands. He just drops that one.
Time of possession. Curtis held the football for 7.5 minutes, 7 minutes, 30 seconds, even though they had the missed field goal, 15 plays. It's sort of a win for the Rummel defense, but it's also a win for the Curtis offense, because if you're looking for TOP in this time of possession, which JT Curtis knows is very important, they ate up a lot of clock with a 14-0 lead.
Well, it's those hidden yards that it left great field position for their defense to work with.
On third down, Wickersham dumps it off. This one caught by Ivory Wilwright. Flag down.
Wickersham's in pain. He just took another hit. That's about the 6th or 7th hit he's taken tonight. They're beating him up. They're getting to him, and they are putting the licks on him.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 92, driving the quarterback into the ground after the ball was released. 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's Linus Noel.
Linus Noel, a little bit extracurricular, driving him into the ground, says it's a little too hard out there. Let's get another look at it right here. Wickersham sets his feet, steps up into the pocket real nice. Okay. You're talking to a defensive guy here, so.
You got to let go.
Well, okay, you must be the offensive guy. But no, I don't know if there was anything wrong with that.
It didn't look that bad. It's questionable.
Right.
You know, and Diggs again on the reception, getting out of bounds, which is important. And he stops the clock with 1:47. Go in the 2-minute drill if you have to. JT Curtis didn't like that call, and he'll be unhappy about that, and we'll probably talk to the officials about it all the way to the locker room.
Oh, I'd be unhappy about it, too. I thought it was not a good call. But anyway, what's important here is Rummel's actually getting some movement with their offense right now by going really empty formations and 10 personnel.
And little short passes that's giving everybody a chance to be complete. And again, did a flag get thrown? No, it didn't. And I'll tell you who's begging for one. Ivory Wilwright, who went down, and he was the intended receiver, being covered by Matthew James.
Well, Nick Monica's going berserk over there. He wanted that flag. I would have thought that flag would have been thrown there too. It looks like that there was some little touching before at the time the ball gets there, and I was wondering if not there would be a penalty on that play.
Well, now a third down. Most importantly is you've got to at least move the chains. Wickersham throws a little off the mark, and it was intended for Tyler Cook cutting across the middle. He was open, but the pressure was closing in.
Well, he's lucky that one picked. That's not a very good throw by Wickersham right there. I'm telling you, he's kind of beat up. He's kind of limping off the field. He's kind of leaning to one side than the other. That was not a good throw.
That'll bring the punt team onto the field, and now we've got a flag thrown very late. I'm wondering if that might be
sideline warning, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because that's thrown 15 yards. That's what it was, sideline warning.
Well, JT's still talking about that hit from Noel back there about 4 plays ago.
So Vanderbrook, the punter, got a little crowded there. The ball comes floating through and is kicked and downed by Rummel deep. Let's see where they will say the ball got touched. He walks up, the official walks it up to about the 7-yard line. CST will have all the information you need about the Louisiana High School Football Championships. Tune in Sunday, November the 10th at 11 a.m. for the 2019 All-State Sugar Bowl LHSAA Preparing Show. We have exclusive coverage of the announcement of the 2019 brackets live. Find out your school's path on the road to the championship, only on Cox Sports Television. Well, Power ratings.
Well,
coaches love them.
Right. Tonight has a lot to do with those power ratings,
does.
too, because the guy or the team that wins this tonight could be the team that gets that #1 seed in the Division I bracket, which means they could possibly be home for the entire playoffs, and it gives them that bye into the quarterfinals. And that includes the championship game also.
This year, as Guggenheim goes straight ahead, he's slow to get up. He's stretched that leg and wide. And
Archbishop Rummel.
Archbishop Rummel will call their first timeout of the half. They have 2 remaining, and Curtis has 1 remaining, and we're checking Guggenheim. It seems to be walking okay now.
Looks like he twinged his ankle maybe a little bit. He's kind of limping on his
yeah,
right foot.
A little bit of a limp there. A little bit of a limp.
You know, and I talked about being home for the Division I finals, and I'll talk more about that later as soon as you get into this particular ad.
Well, that's because we know you were looking for a place to eat. Tonight's game is presented by Yeo College Inn in Rockin' Bow.
Right.
College Inn, a true New Orleans farm-to-table restaurant, open Tuesday through Saturday for dinner, and the home of the New Orleans Prep Sports Hall of Fame. Sometimes if you go, you'll even see Ron Bricata there having dinner. And you can talk to him about the
He's usually right. He's usually sitting at the corner of the bar having a hamburger steak, which is what I usually have when I go there. Probably the best hamburger steak in the city of New Orleans.
Yes. Rockin' Bowl and Yeo College Inn. Nothing like them here in New Orleans.
You know, getting back to what I was saying, Kenny, about being home for the finals. This year it's passed, and it passed where the home team is going to be the team that's going to decide where they're going to play the state final game.
On second down, Corey Wren finally dropped by Corey Smooth, but not till the chains are moved. And listen, 111 is an eternity if a good Veer offense wants to use all of it, or it may be JT lets the clock run as it's running now, and he takes a 14-0 lead into the halftime locker room. Big in a game like this. On first down, Guggenheim, he will give it. Nothing fancy by the Patriots as Wren is swung back down hard.
That was counter trap option. They pulled the backside guard. They start the veer one way, and they bring it back the other way with the guard underneath trying to block the defensive end. Nowhere to go because the Rummel defense just stacked that up inside real hard. Look for more of that in the second half, more of the counter type of options that Curtis runs.
And look for more of Jordan Williams. Well, they're just going to let this clock run out, and Curtis will be happy to take a 14-0 two-touchdown lead into the halftime locker room against a defense that had not given up but 1 touchdown coming into this game. 1 rushing touchdown. Tonight they've given up 1 rushing and 1 passing, and it's been the Curtis defense that has been the defense to talk about in this game. We will take a break and be back with our halftime show. Don't go away. You'll hear from both coaches. It's a great little halftime show coming up as the Patriot fans are excited that their team's in the lead. Back with our halftime show right after this.
Lamarck Lincoln is now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's state of the art. You're gonna love walking into the Lincoln store. 8 years here in New Orleans, you couldn't even buy one? LL, Lamarck Lincoln is back.
Louisiana Dental Center, your dental home team.
Riverlands Insurance Services, a team of professional agents serving Southeast Louisiana for over 40 years, focused on planning, implementing quality with personalized insurance.
The strength of our company is our core of over 90 professionals specializing in the everyday needs of family to the complex world of business and risk management.
Cost-effective insurance planning is how we help our families and our businesses every day. We don't wait for a disaster, we prepare for them.
Count on Riverlands Insurance Services.
Since 1935, the Allstate Sugar Bowl has stood tall as a New Orleans New Year's Day tradition. Throughout the years, the game changed, the venue changed, the teams changed, but the tradition remains. New Year's Day in the Dome, the 2020 Allstate Sugar Bowl. Tickets on sale now. Before kickoff, party at the Allstate Fan Jam in Champion Square. For everything Sugar Bowl, go to allstatesugarbowls.org today. The 2020 Allstate Sugar Bowl.
Lamarck Lincoln is now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's state-of-the-art. You're gonna love walking into the Lincoln store. 8 years here in New Orleans, you couldn't even buy one? LL, Lamarck Lincoln is back.
Raider fans trying to stay warm on a chilly evening here, and it's been even more chilly for their offense because the offense hasn't gotten cranked up at all. 14-0 Curtis here at halftime. The Curtis and Monica families are synonymous with coaching in Southeast Louisiana. We caught up with both head coaches earlier this week to talk about their families, football, and more.
A lot of people don't realize my father never, ever asked me or my brothers or my sisters or his grandchildren to go into education. He felt like it was a calling, and that you couldn't do this job and you couldn't be in education unless you were called to do it. And it was something more than just the books. It was about the intrinsic values that go into developing a young man and a young lady for the rest of their life.
Well, like most kids, I thought I would be a player my entire life, so chased that dream as long as I could. And then, shortly after I realized that it was going to come to an end, I wanted to stay close to the game, and this is where it led me. Started coaching at Rummel right after I finished my last class in college, and so I've been here ever since, and I enjoy it, and I love what I do. So it's people always have that old saying that if you do what makes you happy, you never work a day in your life, and I truly enjoy what I do.
The only time it's different is that 2 hours we're on the field practicing, or that 2.5 hours we're playing a game. Because when we're on the field, it is not grandpa, grandson, it is not father, son, it is Coach JT, the coach, and the player, whoever it might be at that point. Because every kid on that field is somebody's son. Every player on that field has a father that has a great deal of care and concern for him. And so my responsibility and my mantra has always been that what I would do for my children is what I want to do for other people's children. I want them to be treated the same way I'd want mine to be treated. So
you look back nowadays and you realize it was a good thing. I think at the time, sometimes it can be a little bit more difficult because of the obvious reasons. You don't be labeled the coach's kid and things like that. But you look back nowadays and realize how much you learned from playing for him, and I don't regret it at all. I think number one is attention to detail. There's nothing that he doesn't cover and make sure that his kids are prepared for. So that, I think, is the biggest thing. And just number two, the way that he motivates his players. I think he's a little different sometimes than some people and how he motivates them, but he gets the most out of his kids, and I think that's something that every coach strives for, because at the end of the day, that's the goal, is to get the most out of each and every kid.
So it's not been very difficult to coach my children and to coach my grandchildren, because we stay very objective with where we are. They're going to play as they earn the right to play, and they're going to participate as a team member. They're going to wear the same uniform. They're going to get the same privileges. They're going to do the same thing that everybody else does.
We're all very competitive, and I think the fact that you get to be competitive every day as a coach, I think that kind of led us to this profession. And then we all love sports. So just loving the game and loving being around kids and the game, I think it steered us in this direction. And now that we have a few of us in it, it's all we talk about, and it's taken over our lives. And luckily we have good good support systems with our wives and families, and you know, everybody understands, and that's pretty much all the families talk about during holidays as well. So it's been great all the way around.
My sons can coach at any level. My grandsons can coach at any level. Easton Roth's son, Jay Roth, could coach at any level. Coach Monica's boy could coach at any level. Frank himself, as you know, was a college coach and very successful there. These are men that have a great deal of competence, and I think that stems from their love of the game. For they grew up loving the game and understanding the concepts of the game. And I think certainly Archbishop Rummel has continued that. You can look on their roster. A lot of those names are repeating themselves as they have on our roster. And I think that's a great thing for high school football.
Great advice from the two coaches about family, football, and what it all means. At halftime, John Curtis with a 2-touchdown lead over Rummel. Back with more halftime. At halftime, Rummel fans waiting for their Patriots to get hot and come back. We're going to take a look at some scores from around the state. Get the most complete and up-to-date Louisiana prep football scoreboard anywhere at CrescentCitySports.com, presented by the All-State Sugar Bowl. Right off the bat, Holy Cross jumping on Brother Martin, who's got a big one next week, too.
Well, that's ramifications also for this game here tonight, because Brother Martin already has one loss. They get a second loss, then depending on what happens here tonight, it could be the district championship at the end of the night.
Any surprise with Lakeshore tops in their division?
No. Lakeshore is one of the best football teams in the state, especially in non-select schools. They're the top-ranked team in 4A.
Oh, look at St. Thomas More, just another outstanding team, not having much of a problem with Karen Crow.
St. Thomas More, I believe, can play with most everybody in the state this year. They're an excellent football team. They do a great job on defense, and they move the ball so very well on offense.
Neville and Bastrop, always a big game in Northeast Louisiana.
It's always huge. It's one of the biggest ones up in the Monroe area.
How about Acadiana, a contender for the 5A title?
Well, you look at Acadiana, and when it comes to playoff time, which is going to be in a couple of weeks from now, Acadiana's somewhere on that bracket. You better know where they're at, because they have a way of finding their way into that state final game.
All right, with that, we will take a break and come back with more of our halftime show. At halftime, John Curtis, 14, Rummel, nothing. Back after this.
Around here, we like things local, very local. Get the home field advantage when buying or refinancing your home with the local mortgage lending experts. NOLA Lending Group, a division of Fidelity Bank. NOLA Lending, now the proud mortgage lender of your New Orleans Saints.
I love my students. I knew I wanted to be a teacher all my life. I want to give back to kids that grew up in the same environment that I grew up in. Teach for America brought me to New Orleans to work with kids who need guidance. You know, I was in your shoes, where going home, you don't know what was gonna happen. I say to my kids, stay positive. You can make it out. Education can take you wherever you wanna go. You just have to believe.
Tell me about it. The kids need braces, I need a root canal, and Dad's old dentures are broken. That means 3 dental appointments all across town.
Bobby Abear?
Mom, you need to call Louisiana Dental Center. They see kids and adults and have specialists at every location. They even have Friday and Saturday appointments.
That's great. I'll call him now. But who's gonna do the dishes?
Yeah, I know, me and my big mouth.
For more than half a century, Gills Bar has offered services, solutions, and support for businesses and associations looking for happier constituents and healthier bottom lines. To learn more on how Gills Bar can help your business, visit gillsbar.com.
Your home for the best in coverage of pro, college, and prep sports in the New Orleans area is CrescentCitySports.com. Whether it's news, opinions, live video webcasts of high school sports, or Louisiana's best prep football scoreboard, you can get it all at Crescent City Sports. The name may be new, but it's the same great coverage you've gotten for years from our team of New Orleans natives. Click it now and like us on social media at CrescentCitySports.com.
Back at halftime, Wade Kaiser, Ken Berthelot, and the John Curtis Patriots with a 14-0 lead over the Rummel Raiders. And I'd ask you about any surprises, score-wise probably, because Rummel has done a good job holding Curtis's offense in check, keeping them to 2 touchdowns, but the Rummel offense has been a no-show.
Well, it's been a no-show, but that has something to do with John Curtis's defense. That's applying a tremendous amount of pressure to Wickersham. That offensive line's got to get on cue here, okay? Because Wickersham's going to have to throw the football in the second half. So they're going to have to pick up blitzes. They're going to have to be able to take away some of that pressure that's being applied. And if they don't get on board with it, I don't know if Rummel can move the ball on this Curtis defense.
And you can see what one of the Curtis game plans and keys of the game was, is to really get a lot of pressure, make Wickersham uncomfortable, and slow down Diggs. Let's go to the highlights and we'll take a look and see exactly what happened. And first play from scrimmage, and there's Guggenheim rattling a big gain of 68 yards. That set up this run, and Corey Rins into the end zone for the touchdown. That made it 7-0, only the second rushing touchdown given up by the Rummel defense. And then Fumbo, the only turnover of the half, and that set up this play right here. And that's the big toss to Javon Davis from Colin Guggenheim. And that's where we stand at halftime. 14-0. Look at the numbers. And did you expect the stats to be this lopsided in favor of John Curtis?
Well, I knew the time of possession could be that, because that's how an Veer offense operates. You're looking at the rushing yards, I knew that was going to happen. 55 yards passing, the biggest one was the touchdown pass to Davis right there, which was a great throw by Guggenheim. But look at the total number of yards between the two. That's the difference right there. All right, Curtis is just dominating time of possession and total yards. Rummel can't get anything going offensively.
Well, let's see what adjustments were made at halftime. We'll talk about that when we come back. It's halftime, 14-0. Curtis with the lead. Get set for second half action in this big game. Back with that. High school football from Crescent City Sports on Cox Sports Television is brought to you by the All-State Sugar Bowl, sponsor of all LHSAA championship events, and by the all-new Lamarck Lincoln, now open in Kenner. We are ready for second half action, and we know what this team probably talked about in the locker room at halftime because they're in control of this one. But let's start with Nick Monica. What does Nick Monica tell his Rummel Raiders? They've given up more touchdowns now than they've given up all year as a defense.
Well, what he needed to do was rip that offensive line a little bit, okay? They're going to have to start doing a better job. Now, I know they're missing their center, and they've had to move a couple of key pieces around this week in order to, cover it up. But those guys have been through the battles, and those guys are going to have to start protecting Wickersham a little bit to give him a little more time to be able to throw the football. And they're going to have to throw the ball this half, and they got to get Logan Diggs going somehow. So, I got to think Nick walked into that offensive meeting room real quick and kind of read the riot act to that offensive line.
Well, he's talking with the officials and referee Mark Gervais.
Well, he's voicing his opinions about a couple of bad spots and a couple of holding penalties that should have been called, and he's doing it the nice way, and that's Nick, and that's the way he operates. His dad would have been a little more intense in that conversation, and I love his dad to
But
death.
his dad would then left with a Monica-ism and made everybody laugh. He would have gotten real intense, got everybody upset, then turned around and left with a Monica-ism, and everybody would have laughed and felt good about it.
Well, but that's
Frank can do
right.
that.
That's Nick. Nick is like that, and that's his mannerisms.
Nick said, I took a lot from
right.
my dad, but the Monica-isms belong to him. I cannot do the Monica-isms like that. We can break a huddle, and we can get 11 into the line of scrimmage.
That's the way.
Anybody who's followed Frank Monica understands what that statement just explained.
and Nick's extremely very level-headed, and
Rummel's got the ball to start the second half, so got to get on the right side of the field first, though.
Well, they're going to have to put some points in on this first drive. Let's at least start moving the chains a little bit, and let's put something on the board. And I'm sure he talked to his kids about that also. Now, what did JT talk to his kids about? Remember the game plan. What is the game plan? Let's go back out and execute the game plan as if it's 0-0 from the first half.
Just remember, Rummel was down 12-0 to St. Augustine last week. That all happened in the first 29-30 seconds of the game. They came back in the fourth quarter after a slow start offensively to win that game. And when you put it in the hands of a guy like Donovan Kaufman or Quentin Cage or Logan Diggs on a kickoff return, anything might happen. Look for Austin McCready to try to get this one as deep as possible. Every kick so far has been a touchback. This one can be returned from the 1-yard line. Right at the goal line. And Kaufman with a good return. And here comes a flag, which looks like a face mask. But let's see. And McCready made the stop.
Well,
good return by Kaufman.
Right, Kaufman gets up, wanting the flag, gets the flag, and I think you're right, Ken. It's going to probably be some sort of face mask right here. It just depends on if it's a personal foul face mask. That will determine the length of the walk-off on the penalty.
We talk about, and as you listen to other coaches, how do you beat John Curtis? You have to execute first because they're going to execute almost flawlessly, so you have to be almost flawless. You can't be predictable, and I'm not talking about first.
Personal foul, face mask. Curtis, 15-yard penalty, first down.
And when I say predictable, I'm not talking about first half or second half. I'm talking about on different drives. There's your face mask. Oh, yeah, got him with the left hand was on the face mask and the right hand was.
Well, they got him around the ear hole, and the ear hole is considered part of the face mask, so that's where the penalty is going to come in right there. And it's a little bit different formation from offense right now, coming out in a 20 personnel package with Kaufman in the backfield.
And the best field position of the night. And Kaufman will bobble it, grab it, and find a way to fight close to the chains. He'll be just short of a first down. Caleb Spann finally halted the run.
Well, we saw Kaufman come out in the very first series of the first play of the game and the first series of the game in the backfield. They bring him back out in the first play of the second half right here. He's a great athlete. He's got great hands, and they get him going. And if he can get going offensively, he could be the spark the Raiders need on offense.
Yeah, he's a Vanderbilt commit, and they're going to be happy to have him. Oh, look at the delay. Logan Diggs breaks a tackle after picking up the first down, breaks another. Look at him go. He's making a run for it and is finally pushed out of bounds near the 5-yard line by Dante Thomas.
Draw scheme. Pops it to Diggs right there. Great job by the offensive line setting that up. Maybe that motivational talk by Nick Monica at halftime put a little spark into that offensive line's tail a little bit. And we got another Rummel Raider down on the ground, which they can ill afford.
34-yard run by Diggs.
Great cut right there by Diggs. He makes a great cut at the line of scrimmage. Then he makes a few more in the secondary right there.
Ball is at the 6-yard
line. Well, he is the one guy that J.T. Curtis wanted to stop. He knows how fast and how explosive Logan Diggs is, and said if we can stop Logan Diggs or limit his big plays at least, we've got a real good chance to win this game.
Well, they've got to get him going. Somehow they've got to get him going. They're going to have more protection up front for when Wickersham wants to throw the ball. So they're going to have to make sure that they get the touches to dig. That looks like Coy Moore that's down.
He got rolled up on toward the end of that play, and he is the LSU commit, the real fine wide receiver. Been kind of quiet in this game, but that's because the whole offense has been kind of quiet. We'll take a break as they see to Coy Moore. Be back with more right after this. Coy Moore being helped off the field.
Riverlands Insurance Services, a team of professional agents serving Southeast Louisiana for over 40 years, focused on planning, implementing quality with personalized insurance.
The strength of our company is our core of over 90 professionals specializing in the everyday needs of family to the complex world of business and risk management.
Cost-effective insurance planning is how we help our families and our businesses every day. We don't wait for a disaster, we prepare for them.
Count on Riverlands Insurance Services.
Around here, we like things local, very local. Get the home field advantage when buying or refinancing your home with the local mortgage lending experts. NOLA Lending Group, a division of Fidelity Bank. NOLA Lending, now the proud mortgage lender of your New Orleans Saints.
For more than half a century, Gills Bar has offered services, solutions, and support for businesses and associations looking for happier constituents and healthier bottom lines. To learn more on how Gills Bar can help your business, visit gillsbar.com.
If ever Coy Moore had to shake it off and be okay, this is one of those occasions, and you're looking at him right there, number 2, Coy Moore, and won't be in on this play, but looks like he'll be able to come back into the game.
That's too big.
Wickersham getting a lot of protection.
It's too big of a show for Coy Moore.
Oh, everybody jump. Let's see who gets called for it. This will be procedure.
All right, number 67, offense, 5-yard penalty. It will remain first down.
We got Nick Perkins on the quick movement right there, a junior, 6'4", 295 pounds. A little too soon on the snap.
Moves him back a little bit, but if they can get that ball to Logan Diggs in space, as you saw on that long run of 34 yards, he can make some crazy things happen. Donovan Kaufman going straight ahead, running into the arms of Craig Gulling.
Try to run the inside zone with Kaufman. They motion Diggs out of the backfield to try to get some movement. They're trying to get movement on those linebackers to get them slide, move out of the way, get their eyes up, a little window dressing, if you would call it that, on Diggs. And then they pop the ball off on the inside zone scheme to number 5 right there, Kaufman.
And Kaufman, again, he's a strong safety, and this is a little wrinkle they put in to use his speed and his ability. He's also a good returner. So he's used to running the football. Wickersham with the pump. He's got a man wide open. He pulls it in. Is it a touchdown? Is he inbounds? Yes, it is. Touchdown, Ivory Willwright.
Great adjustment to the ball by Ivory Willwright. Wickersham throws it out there to the wrong shoulder. He's wide open. He left the Curtis defender at the line of scrimmage. You can see him pop wide open into the end zone. Wickersham has to double pump that right there. Puts it almost to his right shoulder where it should have been put out on the left shoulder. Great adjustment to the ball by Ivory Will-Wright, and the Raiders get on the board.
Well, the left shoulder throw would have been just a little completed touchdown pass. The other shoulder throw threw a little thrill into it.
Well, it threw a little thrill into it, but it was a great adjustment by the receiver.
Vanderbrook drills the point after. We've got a football game here early in the third quarter. John Curtis's lead cut to 7.
The Ronnie Lamar used car superstore. When you walk in it, you're going to say, wow. For your lifestyle and budget in mind. It's not Wall Street money. It's Mealy Street money from Arabi, Louisiana, where I grew up as a kid. Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignment, struts, servicing your transmission, and we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. You're going to love the experience.
That's Amore Pizzeria, the best pizza in town, along with fresh salads and seafood. Come in for the deep dish Chicago style or New York style pizza. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday to Sunday. That's Amore Pizzeria on West Metairie at Clearview.
Around here, we like things local, very local. Get the home field advantage when buying or refinancing your home with the local mortgage lending experts. NOLA Lending Group, a division of Fidelity Bank. NOLA Lending, now the proud mortgage lender of your New Orleans Saints.
4 minutes, 48 seconds, 4 plays rather, 48 yards, 1 minute, 46 seconds. The big play, the 34-yard run by Logan Diggs, and then the 10-yard Ivory Will-Wright touchdown pass. How big was that for Rummel to come out of the locker room and make this a one-score game?
Well, that was the perfect medicine Wickersham needed. He had the time to throw the football. Great route by the receiver to leave the defender at the line of scrimmage, and that was just what the doctor was prescribing for the Raiders.
Vanderbrook doesn't put this one deep, but it is dropped. And here comes Corey Wren with speed. Pushed out of bounds, pretty good field position. Donovan Kaufman with the push out of Corey Wren. So let's see what Curtis will do with their first offensive possession of this second half.
They're going to come out and run the veer. You know, look, I
wasn't
say
expecting you to say
right,
that.
Right. That sounds kind of funny, but they're not going to change. You know, they're going to adjust to what Rummel does to adjust, because they have the answers. They've seen it all. They know exactly what they have to do and how they're going to attack the defensive front on the adjustment.
Pretty big rushing night for Guggenheim's. Good numbers on the screen. He'll hand it off here. And again, the Rummel defense has found a way to just close the door for the most part as they shut down Shane Goins right there. I want to see if Guggenheim's going to run the football. He looks to be walking a little gingerly. Not limping, but remember, he was limping slightly toward the end of the first half.
That's the cutback veer off the inside veer. They're running the B gap right there, and Goins bends it back. That's a design play off of the veer offense. The bend back or the counter wind back off the veer.
No gain, makes it 2nd and 10. Guggenheim on the keep. Nothing. Donovan Kaufman leads a charge of a whole bunch of white shirts, and the Patriots shut it down.
Aaron Thomas right there scrapes and takes care of his responsibility and does a great job.
2-yard gain. That'll make it 3rd down, 8.
Guggenheim gets a pull read, pulls the ball, did what he was supposed to do. Great job by Aaron Thomas right there, scraping across the top to take care of his assignment defensively to shut down the quarterback keep off the option.
Well, it may be a little early to say this, but on 3rd down, this might be the biggest play of this game, because if Rummel stops him, gets a 3-and-out, gets the ball back in a one-score game, they've gone at the momentum. And there is a great second try by Wren, but he stopped short of the first down by Donovan Kaufman, and it looks like a punting situation for J.T. Curtis, but you never know with the veer offense, do you?
Wren almost pops that off the counter dive. We saw that earlier in the first half. Fake the dive one way, come back and give it to Wren on the other side to try to create overflow from that Rummel defense.
Donovan Kaufman is back, awaiting an Austin McCready punt. That was the first John Curtis 3-and-out of this ball game. The first 3-and-out. It'll be a short punt call for a fair catch. He'll just let it roll, and it'll get about another 11 yards after the roll for John Curtis. Tune to CST for a Southland Conference football matchup tomorrow at 4 p.m. as Northwestern State, the Demons that is, travel to Lake Charles to take on the McNeese Cowboys. Visit CoxSportsTV.com for updates on which Southland Conference games you'll see this season right here on Cox Sports Television. Hey, how about Northwestern State got their first win last week? Sometimes you just got to break the ice, get the first one, then good things can happen.
Well, we saw that last week, and we were covering the Southland last week when we were down at Nichols. They're good. The whole league is good from top to bottom.
Coach Ogeron at LSU will be spending his off week watching his son quarterback McNeese. On first down, Linus Noel puts the stop on Logan Diggs.
Linus Noel is an outstanding defensive lineman for the Patriots. 6'2", 305 junior. We saw him make some big hits earlier in the first half with one big hit that got a penalty, which I didn't think was a penalty, on Wickersham. But
he didn't think so either.
He didn't think so either. You think if we went down there and asked him?
I'm pretty sure that's what he'd say. Second down. Wickersham, empty backfield. And he overthrows Logan Diggs.
Wickersham took another hit at the last second right there by a Patriot defender coming off the edge.
He's limping a little too as he comes back.
I think that was Marquise Martin that laid a stick on him right as he was getting rid of that football.
Kyle Wickersham, good size and height. He's a junior, but this is the first year that he takes over this. Look, before him, Chase Forcade and Chandler Fields for many years taking over this Rummel offense, and this year he's had a great defense which has allowed him time to develop. Let's see if he can show it on third down. Patriots showing blitz. They're trying to put pressure. He's on the run. He dumps it off, and it's going to be short of a first down. Even though it's caught, it's going to be about 4th and 1. Caleb Spann bringing Tyler Cook down short of the first down. So, it's going to be 4th and maybe just a tiny bit more than 1, but it's too dangerous to go for it this early in the game, and Nick Monica knows it.
Curtis,
you got to put this away.
Curtis in that last series was in more of a nickel defense, brought in extra defensive backs. We're playing with 3 down defensive linemen, and they still got pressure on Wickersham with 3 down defensive linemen.
Vanderbrook. Good putter. Flag on the play before it. I didn't see movement. So Mark Gervais, the referee, goes over. And we have a meeting of the official minds.
There is no foul for illegal substitution. There were 10 men on the field. The 11th guy came on. There is no foul.
So
wow.
we'll do it again.
Hold on, timeout. You can't throw a penalty for having 10 on. You can play with 10. Can't play with 12.
That's why they picked it up.
I would hope so.
The new math. It's tough. Fair catch at the 41-yard line by Caleb Spann. And it'll be John Curtis ball leading by 7 when we come back. Well, what's on the mind of that guy right there, JT Curtis, is he knows his Patriots have their best starting field position of the night. And in a one-touchdown game, in a tight ball game like this, that might help his Patriots take that Veer offense down the field. Led right here by Colin Guggenheim, the Army commit. A little delayed handoff, but it doesn't fool Quentin Cage. And that time, Shane Goins goes nowhere.
Quentin Cage, 49 tackles, 3 sacks on the year. He's been everywhere tonight. He's had a couple of huge hits on Guggenheim. He's playing extremely well from his linebacker position.
And just picked up his 9th TFL and plays that position extremely well.
Well, he's playing very good assignment sound football right there.
He's one of the guys you have to shut down, and he's had 10 rushes, 0 yards. So the Rummel defense has been able since that first drive to shut him down, but they'll throw it around the end. Corey Wren will use his speed, turns it on, and is short of the first down as he's shoved out by Sean Grimes.
Sean Grimes does a nice job coming up to set the edge right there to be able to bring down the running back. You know, that's the way a corner's supposed to play. Watch him come up on the quick pitch right here.
Yeah, 7-yard gain.
There he is. He comes up and he's going to fill downhill, set the edge. Does a nice job making that tackle.
Sean Grimes, good look at him. The senior, 2 interceptions on the year. Been a good leader for the defense for Rummel. 3rd down short. 3rd down, 3. Guggenheim as the play he likes. Flag is thrown from behind. Big rugby scrum to stop everybody. No first down on the run. Let's see what the flag is all about.
Motion, number 1, offense, the penalties decline, 4th down.
Huge play right there, by the Rummel defense. They brought extra people into the box right there and gave them an 8-man box, still playing man coverage on the wide receivers out on the edge. Watch for Curtis the next time they come out, if they're going to get that 8 people on the box right there, to go back to some of their throwing game like they did in the second quarter.
Yeah, that might be the second half adjustment there. Is that, hey, if you're going to beat us, we're going to make you throw to beat us, but we're going to load the box and stuff that Veer. So McCready to punt. Kaufman back. Kaufman fumbles it, but quickly jumps on it. That was so dangerous back there at the 10-yard line. And Kaufman is aggravated with himself because he knows he had a chance to run. And we have a player down, Gavin Holmes, the Colorado commitment. And they'll come out to see about him. While they see to him, let's take a look at the last time Curtis lost a district game. This game was October 31st, 2015. Game was tied at 7. Chase Fourcade found David Hensley there on the Curtis next possession. Almost Derek Munson ripped the ball loose and returned it to the Patriots 1, and that is going to set up an Israel Tucker score. Curtis returned the favor when Taj Bickman intercepted Fourcade and returned it to the Rummel 30. That set up the 8-yard TD from Tyrone Chevalier. But Rummel ran out the last 6 minutes of the fourth quarter with a quarterback draw by Fourcade, converting a key 3rd down. And for Jay Roth, it was his 204th career win, tying him with Bobby Conlon for the most in Catholic League history. That was the last time Curtis and Rummel met for the first time as district opponents. The last time they lost a district game, and wow.
I think we called that one, Ken, a few years ago.
All right, so on first down, Jalen Sturgis finally gets a carry, finally gets to touch the ball, and he's brought down by Linus Noel. Sturgis is the grinder. He's not going to win the 100-yard dash to the end zone, but If you need some yards, you give it a little, well, big. If you look at weight, size, and push, 5'9", 231, you hand it to number 7 and let him grind out some much-needed yardage. Or play action to him. Wickersham in trouble. Escapes once, but not twice. And he'll go down.
Again, a lot of pressure applied by that Curtis defense. Everybody's all over him. You got number 54 right there. Kalen White coming blitzing from his linebacker position. Also in there was Linus Noel applying pressure. Again, they fake the play action right there. And look at all the blue jerseys just converging on to Wickersham. No place for him to go. That's been the story of the night, Ken. He just can't get the ball off.
No, that was the big game plan, I think, for Curtis, was to put a lot of pressure and make Kyle Wickersham as uncomfortable as possible. 3rd down, a long 8. And he throws it complete. And that's a big completion and a big first down pick by Ivory Willwright, the senior.
Best throw of the night by Wickersham right there. Great protection by the offensive line. He steps up into the pocket, and Willwright running the square in across the field, steps right into it with a great throw with a defender barreling down on him. He puts the ball on the money. That's a big-time throw by Wickersham right there. That's what he's going to have the rest of the night.
And he just went over 1,000 yards passing with that completion to Ivory Willwright this season. His first as a starter here at Rummel. Well, we've got flags and jumps and motion, and let them sort this out, but
Snap infraction, number 63, offense, 5-yard penalty. It'll remain first down.
Now this is a new center. Anthony Harrison is usually at the guard, but he was moved over to center when Chase Tolan, the starting center, was injured, and Christian Stamps came in to play guard. And you watch big Anthony Anderson.
You can't do that. Looks like there's a little communication between he and the quarterback right there.
He's got a picture of him in park ball at about 10 years old. Oh, he did it again, my goodness. Not him, though. This time it's Brenton and Bashman at left tackle.
Number 77, offense, 5-yard penalty. It'll remain first down.
You know, I think the Curtis defense has a little to do with this, too. They're showing them a little bit of a different front, and they're also doing it from what I call the stand-up rush. Nobody's down with their hand in the dirt. Everybody's doing it from stand-up, trying to move around a little bit and trying to get that offensive line to kind of lean back on their heels. Now they're down, and there's the little look of the jumping around.
That was the 4th penalty on Rummel. 3 of them were false starts, and they don't get much on that. Now we'll go back to that Anthony Harrison at center. He's played a solid game at the center spot on the offensive line, having to take in replace rather Chase Tolan, the normal starting center there. And you look at a picture of him in park ball, he was that size. In park ball at 10 years old, he was that size. Big old number 63, and he was just 3 feet shorter.
You know, the problem is you're going to have, when you get a new guy in there, you're going to have some miscommunication, and that's what we saw 2 snaps ago.
Wickersham stepped away from pressure and gave himself some time to get the ball to Coy Moore, and Coy is brought down quickly by Dante Thomas. But it's a first down.
Another good throw by Wickersham there, evading the rush, moving to the side.
Check that, third down. That's my bad on that.
He takes another shot, but he evades the rush right there, and he does a nice job getting that ball out with a nice completion. Should have been a flag right there with a hand to the face mask. In the NFL, that would have been 15 yards.
And now it's 3rd down and 10.
But they're knocking Wickersham. They've been knocking Wickersham around tonight ever since the first quarter. He's going to be sore when he gets up in the morning.
Showing blitz. Curtis loading it up by the line. Here comes pressure. Wickersham steps inside of it, and now he'll toss it to Coy Moore. Moore with the turnaround catch, but not enough for the first down.
You know, Wickersham is getting a little, I guess you'll say, frustrated. He takes another hit right as he delivers the ball. Right there. Great hit by Kalen White. Another hit right there. He's getting a little frustrated, and if he doesn't calm down, that's going to affect the way things are going to go the rest of the night for Wickersham.
A flag thrown very late.
Fouls on the play. Both are unsportsmanlike conduct. One on the offense, one on the defense. Number 67, number 44. This will be their first.
They had unsportsmanlike on both ways. It's going to wash the penalties away. Number 67, Nick Perkins, was something happened as an offensive lineman. The second one was on, I think they said number 44, Marquise Martin from Curtis. The next one, if they have another one, they'll be out of the game. That's the Federation rule, that if you have two unsportsmanlikes, you're going to watch from the boundary.
So they have to play very carefully. Vanderbroek to punt it. Fair catch called for and dropped. It's dropped by Caleb Spann.
That
Ball's out. Rummel has it. Corey Smooth, we talked about him in the open of this broadcast as the quarterback of that offense. Sometimes he makes the big play to recharge the Rummel team, and he did just now.
Well, big-time players make big-time plays. Again, he's Johnny on the spot making a big play. Not a good decision right there on the return by Corey Wren. He should have had that hand up, make sure he got his chest up on the ball, and he should have... I might have had the wrong person. That might have been Spann on the return, but he should have gotten that chest up on the ball and made sure he secured that thing. But Johnny on the spot right there was number 8, making a huge play. Again, Corey Smooth.
So how about this field position for Rummel, trailing by a touchdown? Wickersham.
They've got to take advantage of this, Ken.
Logan Diggs breaks one tackle, cuts to the outside. Classic Logan Diggs to the end zone. Touchdown.
Great cut right about the second level where he puts a move on the linebacker and he just sprints away from the secondary right there. Great run, great speed, great eyes by Logan Diggs.
What moves by Logan Diggs as we watch this 25-yard score.
You can see he puts a move on number 54, Kalen White, right at the second level, right there. Gets vertical, puts another move right there when he gets into the secondary on Craig Gullen. Great moves, 2 different levels. Started with the vision in his eyes. Great run by Logan Diggs.
Vanderbroek to tie it up. And he does. With less than 30 seconds to play in the third quarter, we have a new ball game. Rummel, who gave up 14 to Curtis before the half, comes back in the third quarter with 14 of their own and ties this one between, again, the immovable object and the unstoppable force. And we are right where we started at the opening kickoff. A tie game. Logan Diggs, what a run.
One of the keys Curtis said for the offense, for them together, is not to put the ball on the ground.
Oh,
look at the blocker right there, is fit right into the return man, Donovan Kaufman.
Yeah.
And he could have actually kind of knocked the ball out of his hands to put the ball on the ground for the huge turnover. Look at the touchdown right there. Great move, gets vertical, puts another move on the secondary man, Craig Gullen, sprints into the end zone. What great vision by Logan Diggs.
The momentum has swung in favor of the Rummel Raiders. This will be a deep boot, and that one's in the end zone. Will come back out to the 20. We talked about this earlier. So much more than just a ball game at stake, because you're looking at, even though these teams might meet again one day, and listen, remember this. You've got power ratings on the line. You've got more on the line than just the outcome of this ball game. Look at the adjustments that the Rummel has made, that the Rummel Raiders have made on defense. We haven't really talked about that enough in the second half.
Well, the main adjustment that I've seen in the second half is they brought an extra guy down in the box. Other than that, they're staying basically in their same front. They're playing a lot more aggressive up front, and they're making sure that they're a little bit more of assignment sound. They're getting their linebacker to the quarterback, which is keeping Guggenheim from popping the long run.
Well, a good look at J.T. Curtis. One thing he does very well is pick up adjustments by other teams. And here's the pitch back, and that's going nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. Donovan Kaufman all over it.
Donovan Kaufman comes from his linebacker position right there, and he runs himself to his assignment, which is the pitch, and does a great job with a tackle for a loss.
Now the clock will run down in the third quarter after 3 quarters here at Joe Yenney. We are tied at 14. Wow, get ready for an explosive fourth quarter. Who will adjust? Who will score? Who will win in the battle of the undefeateds? Back with the fourth quarter to find out.
42 years in a row. Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Your home for the best in coverage of pro, college, and prep sports in the New Orleans area is CrescentCitySports.com. Whether it's news, opinions, live video webcasts of high school sports, or Louisiana's best prep football scoreboard, you can get it all at Crescent City Sports. The name may be new, but it's the same great coverage you've gotten for years from our team of New Orleans natives. Click it now and like us on social media at CrescentCitySports.com.
12 minutes to play. Rummel fans excited. Wade Kaiser, Ken Berthelot, our entire Crescent City Sports crew, along with CST. And folks, look at the stats. First rush, 68 yards for Colin Guggenheim. Since then, 38 rushes. One rush of 10 yards or more since that time.
I think they're going to have to come out and throw the ball a little bit more in this fourth quarter if they're going to want to maintain some sort of offensive continuity.
Or just use an old-fashioned veer triple option pitch, and they do to Shane Goins, who's tackled by Gavin Holmes. But a nice game. And a flag is down. So hold everything, a penalty on the play. Mark Gervais, our referee, will explain it.
Block in the back. #4, offense, 10-yard penalty. It'll play second down.
That's your wideout, Javon Davis.
That was right at the end of the run where it's going to be marked off from where the spot of the foul is. So they're going to back it up. Take a look at the bottom of your screen right there. Yeah, that's a little touchy. I don't know. It looks like the defender also kind of moved his body to the point where his hands by the offensive player were on his back. So a little touchy on that one.
But if anything, he blocked him into his own run.
Right. I mean, again, if the defender's going to move to where you're going to end up getting the penalty shouldn't have been called.
Oh, look at Guggenheim on the keeper. Didn't hand it off. He'll get some of that penalty yardage back. He's dropped by Jordan Williams after a gain of 8.
They go back to loading the option. They got the tight end, again, up on the linebacker that was trying to scrape to get Guggenheim that time. And Guggenheim has a nice pickup right there on second down to get at least half of the sticks back. And it puts them in a third down and about 6.
And a big third down again, because here we are in the fourth quarter. Momentum already has swung to Rummel. John Curtis tried to get it back. Guggenheim takes his time with this third down play, and he's caught from behind. He's caught from behind by Jordan Williams.
Jordan Williams chases him down from behind from his linebacker position. He came blitzing off the back edge and just chased him down. They were trying to ride the ball into the line of scrimmage. It looks like Guggenheim was trying to disconnect on the option and just got pulled down from behind. Now, in that series, Rummel comes out and spreads their offense a little bit, takes a back out of the backfield, puts them out into the formation in order to try to spread out that Rummel front a little bit.
How about Jordan Williams? He's a South Alabama commit, and they're going to get a pretty good one out of Rummel High School. Donovan Kaufman waits for the punt. Oh, he picks it up in dangerous territory, and they can't get him down. He's just wobbling his way through with people all over him and fights for 5 or 6 yards. Finally stopped by Craig Gulling. So with that, we'll have a timeout. It'll be Rummel football.
Tell me about it. The kids need braces. I need a root canal. And Dad's old dentures are broken. That means 3 dental appointments all across town.
Bobby Abear?
Mom, you need to call Louisiana Dental Center. They see kids and adults and have specialists at every location. They even have Friday and Saturday appointments.
That's great. I'll call him now. But who's going to do the dishes?
Yeah, I know me and my big mouth.
Riverlands Insurance Services, a team of professional agents serving Southeast Louisiana for over 40 years, focused on planning, implementing quality with personalized insurance.
The strength of our company is our core of over 90 professionals specializing in the everyday needs of family to the complex world of business and risk management.
Cost-effective insurance planning is how we help our families and our businesses every day. We don't wait for a disaster, we prepare for them.
Count on Riverlands Insurance Services.
J.T. Curtis, and he is on his players. They have got to, as he likes to say, execute and not make mistakes. And Kyle Wickersham, the quarterback, is the man of the moment. Good field position on first down. Quick throw. And that's caught by Keith Robertson, his first catch of the game, 6th of the year.
That's what I thought I would see more tonight from Kyle Wickersham. Catch the ball, throw, and the quick passing game. That's the first time we've seen the quick passing game tonight out of the Raiders. Everything else has been either 5-step drop, time type of stuff, and really have had to rely on the protection of the offensive line. Right there, you don't have to really rely on much protection.
And to keep everybody honest, just hand it to Logan Diggs every once in a while, and Diggs will get you a few more.
He's brought down by Craig Gulling, 5'7", 155-pound junior. We've called his name a couple times tonight.
Very close to a first down, but that'll leave him with 3rd and short. 3rd and 2 to be exact.
This is a big 3rd down for the Raiders right here.
You've got the momentum, and you'd like to keep it. Keep an eye on number 3, standing next to Wickersham, Logan Diggs.
Man coverage by Curtis.
A lot of people in the box. Here comes pressure against Wickersham. He's in trouble. He's sacked. Wickersham goes down in the hands of Marquise Martin.
Again, it's an offensive line breakdown. Great pressure put on by the Curtis Patriots. You can see right here a lot of blue jerseys converging in, especially number 44, Marquise Martin, who has had a great game tonight. That's his 6th sack on the season right there. Comes in with 5 sacks already. He was quick off the ball right there. Really, the offensive tackle, Perkins, didn't have a chance on the rush right there by Marquise Martin. I was expecting, with the man coverage that I was seeing for one of the first times tonight out of Curtis, to see Wickersham get rid of the ball a lot quicker in a quick passing game type of throw.
Caleb Spann calls for a fair catch and makes it. It'll be John Curtis football when we come back. Still tied at 14.
Lamarck Lincoln is now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's state of the art. You're gonna love walking into the Lincoln store. 8 years here in New Orleans, you couldn't even buy one? LL, Lamarck Lincoln is back.
Toothache.
Gingivitis.
Plaque. Cavity. Tartar. Tooth decay.
Gum disease.
Abscess tooth.
What's that?
A feeling, not a frown.
A bridge?
You mean I need a root canal?
Come on, man.
The only thing worse than hearing those words is hearing that your dentist can't see you right away. Call Louisiana Dental Center. We'll see you today.
Lamarck Lincoln is now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's state of the art. You're gonna love walking into the Lincoln store. 8 years here in New Orleans, you couldn't even buy one? LL, Lamarck Lincoln is back.
Here is what's at stake tonight. Catholic League District 9-5A at least share of the title, and power ratings, which we talked about earlier, a lot at stake. Wade Kaiser.
As we talked about in the opening, huge implications right here for the Catholic League. Not just the share, all right, but it could possibly be, depending on what's happening in the Brother Martin Holy Cross game tonight across town, could possibly be the district championship on the line.
Holy Cross leading 28-21 third quarter. And once again, the Rummel defense is just stuffing the Veer offense. And by the way, that Holy Cross Brother Martin game being shown on your view, which is Cox 4 here in the New Orleans area, in southeast Louisiana area. But and Quentin Cage again with a big stop and going back to the adjustments. A good defensive coach like Nick Monica. He is his own defensive coordinator. When he got the promotion to head coach, he said, I'm still going to be my defensive coordinator. Guggenheim to throw for one of the very few times in this ball game to Corey Wynn. They get him in space, and he'll go out and do the rest and get the first down, as Corey Wynn is most likely to do if you can get him out with nobody around him. A 17-yard gain.
Curtis is going to have to do this for the rest of the fourth quarter. I said back in the middle of the third, because of the 8-man front and the man coverage that Rummel is giving Curtis, they're going to have to open up a little bit and throw the ball a little bit. And they've done that by formation, and now they're going to have to try to throw the football out of that spread formation a little bit to try to match their athletes up.
That's only the 5th time that Guggenheim has thrown the football in this game. Let's see if he continues to do so. First down for the Patriots. Not on first down. He'll keep it, and he'll lose a yard. He's gang tackled back there, and Guggenheim's slow to get up. Aaron Thomas led the charge.
I think that's another misread right there. If we get another look at it, we might be able to see from an end zone shot that should have been a give read by Guggenheim right there. Do you see how 38 did not close to the mesh? Colby Fields, he should have came down by assignment to the mesh right there off the edge. They had a nice block down on the inside 4 technique to be able to spring the running back, and I think that's a misread by Guggenheim.
And if Goins gets the handoff, he is gone. Not maybe to the house, but for big yardage on the play. Instead, second down 11. Guggenheim got some time, got some space. Takes off. Rummel closes it quickly. Jordan Williams led the charge on the stop. 7-yard gain, but it brings up a third down.
The speed of the Rummel defense is unbelievable. They can close on the ball real quick. Where it looks like Guggenheim's going to take off for a huge game like we saw him back in the second play of the first quarter. Right there, it just closes down real fast. And there was what was going to look like a huge gain just turns into a 5 or 6 yard pickup.
Guggenheim's thrown 5 times, as we just said. Would he throw here on third down and 4?
Look for some sort of out route or some sort of flat route out here to his right.
And he won't. Instead, he'll give to Shane Goins, the only back in the backfield, who goes straight ahead, and he will be short by 2 yards. So it brings up a 4th down and 2, and decision time maybe for J.T. Curtis, with the score all knotted up.
I think he's going to punt the football, which I think is the wise choice right here with the punter that he has. He can punt down and try to get that hidden yardage off the punt and try to play some defense, which he's done a good job on all night.
Hey, his defense has been playing very, very well also. Curtis watching just in case it's not. Boy, a beauty, a beauty. This is going to back Donovan Kaufman up, who calls for the fair catch and had to make it back there. So with that, it'll be Rummel football when we come back. 5:01 to play, tied at 14. Well, this may be your home game, but this is our house, say the Rummel fans. This is the first time Rummel is playing a visiting or using the visitors' locker room and is the visitor at Guinea Stadium since that highlight game we showed you, Curtis and Rummel in 2015. This is the worst starting position for Rummel in this game. Now remember, the game plan has been pressure. Kyle, not Jeff, that's Dad watching tonight, the old LSU quarterback. Kyle Wickersham. Kyle from his goal line will throw. Dangerous toss. Wow. Incomplete, but there were a lot of blue jerseys around that. Woo. That's all I can say about that one.
Curtis in their nickel front, playing with a 5-man box, 3 down linemen, still applying pressure with just the 3 down linemen. That's how good those 3 guys are. But they're in man underneath, playing man coverage underneath with halves across the top, a 2 deep secondary.
Second down, 10. Wickersham will run. He's got room. He's past the 10, and he's got the first down and a lot of room for the Rummel Raiders.
We said
Kyle Wickersham.
We said Wickersham had great wheels right there. He just takes off and tucks the ball away and makes a huge run to pick up the first down for the Raiders to keep this drive alive.
Only had 93 yards rushing coming in, just went over the 100-yard mark rushing on the season with the 15-yard gain.
Well, what maybe people didn't see right there was the great blitz pickup by Logan Diggs on the linebacker blitzing from Curtis. He stepped up and took it right in the teeth to allow Wickersham to escape and pick up the first down.
Now, moments ago, I mentioned his dad, Jeff Wickersham, the great LSU quarterback from 82 to 85, and he said it's so neat having a dad like Jeff Wickersham, like my dad, who can teach me from 5 years old on up how to handle pressure, how to do the things a quarterback can do. 6 yards right there for Diggs into the hands of Kylan White before he stops. But again, this young man, Kyle Wickersham, has been coached by one of the very best. His dad, the first to pass for 5,000 career yards at LSU, including 3 2,000-yard seasons. Very special. And here's Kyle. He's watching him star as a quarterback for the Rummel Raiders in his junior year. Throw over to Logan Diggs, and Diggs will do the rest. Dante Thomas finally brings him down, but that is enough to move the chains again. First down, Rummel.
The Raiders are getting Diggs going, which they have to. That was one of the things we talked about at halftime. We didn't actually get to say that on the air, but we were talking about it together, how they've got to get Diggs going, and then Wickersham is going to have to step up in the second half, and then this offensive line is going to have to do a better job protection. But what I like right there is they're getting rid of the ball quicker because they're doing the quick throwing game, just getting the ball out of Wickersham's hands as quick as possible.
So they're just going to keep the ball on the ground, keep it in the hands of their speedster Logan Diggs in case he breaks it, and he's brought down by Angelo Anderson, the Tulane commit.
Inside zone right there, great play to be able to get a lot of blockers up on a 5-man front, which is what Curtis is doing, so the numbers dictate run right there. So look for them to keep mixing the quick throwing game, running the inside zone stuff, seeing if they can pop Diggs on that inside zone play.
Well, second down, delay. And it goes nowhere. That time, the Patriots defense snuffed it out.
They went back to that draw again that we saw Diggs pop back at the beginning of the fourth quarter. There was no place to go that time.
Now remember this. They don't have to make a touchdown. Both have excellent field goal kickers. All you've got to do is get inside the 40, and you're in the range of a field goal kicker for either the Patriots or the Raiders. Third down 9. As big as they come. Here comes pressure. Wickersham, it's picked up well, has time to throw. He throws. Coy Moore on the far side makes the catch, but he's short of the first down by 2 yards.
Coy Moore comes back from the sticks to make that catch. He just didn't get deep enough past the sticks to come back through the stick for the first down, which is going to bring up a punting situation for the Raiders. Again, trying to get that hidden yardage, make sure they punt the ball deep, play defense, maybe get a turnover. Right now, they don't want to put themselves in a position where they're going to give Curtis the ball at the Rummel 40-yard line.
Again, a reminder, both field goal kickers, excellent range. Both field goal kickers about 45, 50-yard range. So when he needs a good punt, he gets it. Vanderbrook with a good one. They're caught. And
that was Kaufman right there making a good catch. Remember last time he had a little issue with it. It got put on the ground. I'm sorry, that was Spann. It looked like number 5 out there. But Spann makes a better catch that time than he did the first time with the one he fumbled back last series.
All right, a big 2 minutes and 12 seconds because the Rummel defense, which has been stout, as we talked about since the opening drive of this game, cannot let this Curtis Patriot offense, if Rummel is to do something special here, get inside that 40-yard line. On the other side of that coin, all the Patriots have to do is get the ball to about the 40-yard line, maybe the 43, because their kicker has 50-yard range. On first down, nothing fancy. They try and test the Rummel defense, which has been so stout since that opening drive, and the defense responds and gives them a few yards.
You know, I think Curtis might be happy unless they pop one right here, just taking this thing into overtime and playing a 10-yard game.
Yeah.
You know, where they are on the field, they want to make sure they don't put the ball on the ground right here. You know, they pop something, then so be it. But if not, they're happy just running this 138 down and just taking it into overtime.
I think that's exactly what J.T. Curtis is thinking about. Unless they pop something, and there's procedure on John Curtis, the tight end moved quickly. That's going to be Connor Orgeron.
Right, Connor Orgeron, a little bit quick off the ball.
Number 15, offense, 5-yard penalty. It'll remain second down.
So Curtis, I think, as we look at it, would probably like the clock to run out. Oh, yeah, big early start by Connor Orgeron. Again, if you missed it in the first half when we said it, no relation to Coach O. Now the clock is stopped with the... Actually, hold up, they ran 2 seconds off the clock, so the officials are going to have to talk about this because of the penalty. Clock stopped, but it was at 1:28. Is this an option call by? Can you, in terms of the clock, can you select?
Well, the minute they set the ball down after the penalty, the clock should have ran. So I don't know exactly what they did with the clock. If they wanted to allow the clock to run or not. So the visiting team looks like they have the opportunity to do that.
Second down and 13, Patriots.
Yeah, the team that committed the penalty would have had the choice. Well, anyway, they reset it to 129. And I think JT, as you said, unless they break a big one and get in the field goal range, we got another flag. Getting a little...
False start, number 75, offense, 5-yard penalty. It'll remain second down. The play will start on the snap.
Which is what we thought would happen last time.
I think that look on Coach Curtis' face right there says it all. You know, he's like, you know, come on, guys, we're self-destructing right here on this drive. We've got, you know, second in a decade here.
That was Randolph Bowles.
Let's be careful in what we do. Let's try to make sure we don't want to give the ball back to Rummel, so we're going to try to run the clock here. You know, Rummel could stop the clock with 3 timeouts.
Second down, 20. Not much. Again, they try and run it. Clock didn't run at all there. It's still at 1 minute, 29 seconds, so the clock failed to start. So they will get this corrected. They see it down on the field. Jordan Williams on the stop for Rummel. Now this has turned into a little bit of an undisciplined final minute and a half, not only with the players and the illegal.
Archbishop Rummel has elected to take their first charge time out of the half. The game clock did not start in the previous play. Please put the game clock at 1:26. 126.
Which is where we were after the last penalty. But I think we've got it sorted out. So if it's second down coming up, and the Rummel defense stopped Curtis again, they can call timeout after second, they can call timeout after third, force the punt, and get the ball with less than, or probably close to a minute to play, to see if they can get down into field goal position. If all of that happens as stated, any first down by Curtis, they can choose to go tempo and move down the field quickly, or settle for an overtime decision.
I think they're going to settle. I think they're trying to burn as much clock as they can now. They're going to have to punt it back. You know, I mean, they're going to have to punt it with the 2 timeouts. They're not. It's going to be tough to get a first down with the down and distance that they're staring at right here. So Rummel's going to probably stop the clock again to make sure that they get the ball back, and Curtis will have to end up punting the ball. You can see the third down conversions that they haven't even converted yet in the second half. They're 0 for 4.
0 for 4. We'll toss it out to the speedster.
You know, the Rummel defense has a lot to do with
Donovan
that.
Kaufman is there once again to stop Corey Wren. Boy, Donovan Kaufman and Corey Wren getting to know each other personally here. They've spent so much time together. So
well, it looks like
stopped at
Archbishop
1:17.
Rummel, just second charge timeout of the second half.
Well, Rummel took their second timeout, which I thought they would. So that way they're going to force Curtis into a punting situation. They're going to get the ball back at pretty decent field position. You know, you talk about, and we looked at that stat a second ago with no conversions in the second half. They're 0 for 4 on third downs. Well, you know, the Rummel defense has a lot to do with that. You know, they've done a nice job basically to be able to get to the ball, and the main adjustments that they've made tonight in the second half from the first half is they brought an extra guy down in the box. They're playing 8 men in the box, and they're playing more man coverage. Other than that, they're just playing more assignment sound, and they've got a little bit more of a spark up their tail in order to play better in the second half. So, you know, credit the coaches from Rummel to be able to say the right things at halftime in order to get their defense to be able to play a little bit faster, a little bit quicker, a little more assignment sound in the second half.
Austin McCready to punt from inside of his own 10-yard line. He's got a few 50-yarders, including his last punt, which went 59 for the Patriots. And he'll boom this one. Kaufman calls for the fair catch and makes it at the 38-yard line. So Rummel will have the football, 1:08 to play. And remember, field goal range. They can get that ball to safely inside the 35. They've got a legitimate shot. Patrick Vanderbrook, good strong leg.
Well, great starting position right here with 1:08 left to go, and I like to see Wickersham get rid of the ball a lot quicker on the quick passing game, so that way they don't have to depend on the protections as much.
Only a 3-man rush now, a delayed blitz. Wickersham still in trouble, and his receiver slips. That was Logan Diggs, went down, and
that was Marquise Martin all over him again.
Yeah.
What a great night Marquise Martin has had. You know, I've lost count on how many times they hit Wickersham tonight. And a lot of those hits have been from Marquise Martin, number 44.
Martin has had 6 hurries coming into the game tonight. Now, I guarantee he's probably come close, if not matched that tonight. Here's second down. Wickersham wants to chunk it long, and he does dangerously into double coverage. Incomplete. Wickersham calling for a flag, but man, that was just so dangerous of a toss.
Look at Marquise Martin right there. Great hands game right there. Hits him again. You know, they've done a nice job tonight on Angelo Anderson. We've called his name and his number just once or twice, and we talked about how big of a player he was on this Curtis defense. So what they've done is they've had to turn a lot of their attention to Angelo Anderson, but on the other side is Marquise Martin, who is having a stellar night for the Curtis Patriots.
Third down, 10, 56 seconds to play. Got to get the first down out of this somehow. Fumble! Curtis jumps on it. Rummel jumps on it.
And I just talked about Angelo Anderson right there. He's the guy that beats a double team to make the big hit on Wickersham, who put the ball on the ground. Rummel got extremely lucky on that to fall back onto the ball. Look at Angelo Anderson right there. Bang! Hits him from behind. Ball's on the ground. Recovered by Logan Diggs.
Two-lane commitment. Are they getting a good one? My goodness.
Look, he beat the double team that time. That's what they've been doing with him all night. They've been putting two people on him, which has opened things up for Marquise Martin on the other edge. But right there, Angelo Anderson beats the double team to get another big hit on Wickersham, and he puts the ball on the ground. I'm telling you, Kyle Wickersham will get up in the morning, and he's going to be extremely sore.
Well, I think they were hoping to spring Logan Diggs somehow and get him out into space and use his speed and cutting ability, but it didn't happen because right there, number 48, Angelo Anderson, put a stop to it.
It's going to bring up 4th down and 15 for Rummel. They're going to have to punt this football.
I talked to him, and he's so excited about his commitment to Tulane and staying home and playing there and seeing what they're doing with that program, and wants another state title to take with him over there. So now 4th down, they've got a punt.
Curtis is going with a double safety look. Look for them to try to set up some sort of return right here.
Return or reverse. Here is Vanderbrook's punt. It'll be a short punt, get a great roll. Rummel needs this roll. They just need to let it roll. And, down it right inside the 20, stopping the clock with 29 seconds. So now if you're JT Curtis, do you want to try to spring a big one, or do you want to go to overtime?
You're going to overtime.
You didn't hesitate on that either.
No, I mean, they're not a vertical throwing team. They're not a spread passing team, okay? So they're going to run veer. They want to make sure that they don't put the ball on the ground. They're going to protect the football right here, and they're going to take this thing into a 10-yard game in overtime.
Wow. The unstoppable force and the immovable object. What's interesting is that Rummel's defense has become an immovable object against or for the veer since the first drive. It's been amazing. There's a toss out to Corey Wren. Corey almost breaks a tackle and makes something happen. Donovan Kaufman holds on tight. Make sure he doesn't get there. 20 seconds.
Second charge time out of the half.
John Curtis takes the timeout right here. You know, would they take a shot?
Well, if they do, I would look for it to be something short and just try to get Corey Wren in space to see if he can get it into field goal territory.
Look,
I don't think Guggenheim is at full speed. He was limping early. He was walking gingerly. I think he's not showing it, but I'm not sure if he is.
You got to take it into overtime.
100%.
You got to take this thing into overtime. You don't want to make any mistake down here where that's going to give Wickersham one shot at the end zone or one kick to the goalpost.
You know, as they look at that and you think about Guggenheim and what he's done here for 4 years as a starter, been running, as we said, this since middle school, been running this offense. His dad, Rodney, played for JT. Way back when, was a good running back, was recruited to Iowa State by Barry Wilson. Barry Wilson, who played at Holy Cross and LSU, was at Iowa State at the time, and he had a great 80-yard touchdown run against Oklahoma. JT says, talks about that with Rodney and Colin. But now it's Colin's day. Second down. He is going to throw it. He is going to air it out. He'll go long for Javon Davis. Incomplete.
My
Everybody
goodness,
wanting a
there's
flag
screaming
on one
pass
side of the
interference on
dugout.
one side of this press box. I can't even hear over my headsets. These guys are screaming pass interference.
Gavin
Hopefully we can take
Holmes.
another look at that and
Let's
see
see
if there was actually some sort of hand fighting going down there between the receiver and the defender.
Well, here it is.
Oh my goodness gracious, hands all over the shoulder, so possibly there could have been defensive holding called on that. If you notice, both hands were on the shoulder pads of the receiver as he's running vertical down the field. I think the Archbishop Rummel Raiders got away with one right there. Gavin Holmes on that coverage.
Colorado commit also had offers from Nichols, ULM, Louisiana Monroe, Southeastern, Northwestern State. Chose Colorado. Here we are on third down. And Guggenheim on a keeper. Not showing any signs of not being 100% on that run. That was just classic Guggenheim. Clock stops with the first down. And let's see if J.T. Curtis just lets it run out or wants to throw a Hail Mary maybe down the field.
We've got one guy with cramps, and we've got Donovan Kaufman, who made that tackle right there, walking off with a stinger on his left shoulder. You can see he's in some sort of pain, but he's going nowhere near that sideline. Look at him. He's down on one knee at about the 45-yard line. He took a pop on his shoulder, and I can tell by the way he's hanging his right arm that there's a stinger issue right there.
Yeah, Donovan Kaufman, Vanderbilt commits so much to this offense. Gavin Holmes, the player down that they're working on, that you're looking at on your screen. And through all of this, 7.5 seconds to play. And these guys right here, J.T. Curtis and his staff, trying to figure out, do we throw one long or do we just take it to overtime?
Take it to overtime.
Good to see Gavin Holmes up. Okay, walking off on his own.
Well, you know, they might pick on the guy that's going to replace Gavin Holmes right here and just take a shot because he's got to come off for a play. So let's see who comes on to take his spot. They're moving Corey Smooch out there, it looks like.
Yeah, they're going to move Corey Smooth over to the near side and put him on
the
Corey
game clock.
Wren.
7 seconds on the game clock.
They're going to smooth out on the number 2 receiver.
Yeah, the clock went crazy. They suddenly went to 75 seconds, so they can't snap this ball. It's supposed to be 7.5. They're going to fix it. The officials are standing there over the ball. Now they've got it set, and he clocks it. So Guggenheim with another second ticking off the clock down to 6.5. Curtis has one timeout remaining, as does Rummel, for these final 6 seconds.
That's their final timeout.
And Curtis just called it.
I think more than anything else, what they were trying to do is they were trying to see how Rummel was going to line up against the offensive formation that they had put on the field right there, and especially see who was going to be lining up on who in man coverage on their wide receivers. So now, by getting that information and calling the timeout, they can line up and draw up their play with the last 6 seconds on the clock to see about taking that shot down the field.
You know, Guggenheim, just an amazing story in that he rushed for 750 yards coming in here with 17 rushing touchdowns, passed for 393 and 4 more, was coming off his best game, which set a single game record of 315 yards rushing against Holy Cross last week with big plays, explosive plays of 86, 69, 41, and 37. You saw that on the first drive where he blew through for 68 yards, and then Nick Monica's defense shut him down, except for one drive, and they had to throw to get that second touchdown. Corey Wren. Watch him. Number 3, down low. That's who they're going to go to. They're just going to chuck it along, see if Corey Wren can go under it. He's well covered by Malik Woodery. Clock runs out. We're going to overtime. Fitting, very fitting for this game that these two teams battle to a tie and they go to overtime. Stand by. We will be back with overtime right after this. Tied at 14.
we like things local, very local. Get the home field advantage when buying or refinancing your home with the local mortgage lending experts. NOLA Lending Group, a division of Fidelity Bank. NOLA Lending, now the proud mortgage lender of your New Orleans Saints.
Having a collision center on the premises where you sell new and used vehicles is a dream come true. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. It's open now. One thing about us, we strive for perfection. Our pre-owned department is magnificent. We are Kelly Blue Book authorized dealer. All makes and models, we're buying them every day. We will purchase your vehicle. We will pay off your existing loan, whether you buy a car or not.
Around here, we like things local, very local. Get the home field advantage when buying or refinancing your home with the local mortgage lending experts. NOLA Lending Group, a division of Fidelity Bank. NOLA Lending, now the proud mortgage lender of your New Orleans Saints.
Getting ready for overtime. We are tied at 14. John Curtis jumped out to a 14-0 lead at halftime, and then Rummel came back in the third quarter with 2 scores of their own to tie it. Nobody hit the board in the fourth quarter, and we go to overtime. Well, and as we put the overtime rules up, let's just say this also, that I think the easiest way to explain this is if you're familiar with the college overtime rule, it's almost the same in high school, except the possessions start at the 10-yard line rather than at the 25.
Again, if you win the toss, you're going to want to take defense, because what happens is if you get the ball last in the possession and you have an opportunity to put one more point on the board than your opponent, then you win the football game. So the call is, if you win the toss, I want defense.
And we saw it last week in the college game. We were at Nichols down in Thibodaux, and Abilene Christian won the toss, took the defense first. Nichols fumbled on their second play, and Abilene Christian then just could have gotten into field goal position, but they busted one, and it's all over. But you know what you have to do, and it opens up the field goal. If you hold your opponent scoreless, makes it easy when you're on defense first.
Well, a couple things are going to have to happen in overtime right here. Number one, the game is immediately shortened on the field, so you're playing a 10-yard game, okay? You know, the kickers are both good. They are both in the mix. So it gets down to the little things like snaps, holds, kicks, all right, penalties, fumbles, and other types of turnovers, of course, interceptions and things like that.
All right, Mark Gervais will tell us and explain the rules of overtime and talk to the captains.
This is good stuff, boys, right? All right, so look, Rummel, you're going to call a toss, okay? We got heads and tails, same thing as the first time. Got 3 options you're going to choose. Offense, defense, okay? Or the side of the field, okay? Heads or tails, what are you going to call?
Wait, which one heads, which one tails?
Heads is the heads, and tails, you got that little blue sticker on, right? All right.
Tails.
He's going to call tails.
The call is tails.
All right, here we go. Let's see what we got. Tails is to call. Heads is a winner.
We want the ball second.
So you want to play defense first.
Yes, sir.
You're going to go on offense, and we're going to go to that side of the field, okay? All right? So
there you have it. You heard it all from referee Mark Gervais. John Curtis won the toss. They chose, just as Wade explained, defense. You want to be on defense first. So it's
first. We will play the series in this end zone.
So it becomes most important that the team with the ball first puts 7 on the board, because that way the worst that can happen is you're going to a second overtime. We'll see. Now remember, you can go for 2. So that's right. If you put 7 on the board.
Well, you put the 6 on the board, you can go for 2. I've always wanted to try to put 7 on the board and go for 2.
Put 7 on the board, go for 2. That's something real special.
I always asked.
Nick Monica, I'll tell you what. We talked about this being maybe the biggest game in his head coaching career, his first year as a head coach. He's had some big ones this year. It's been a wild ride. He started with a game in North Carolina, so he's got to take a group of high school kids on a plane, put them in a hotel. Started from there, comes back, and man, the defense has to be good to give Kyle Wickersham a chance to develop and get better, and they did. They've done everything that he has asked them to do and responded tonight after the first quarter. So here's Wickersham with play action. He'll throw to the end zone just off the fingertips, incomplete, intended for Ivory Wheelwright.
They open up again with Kaufman in the backfield in a 20 personnel formation, which is what we saw him open up again in the first half. At the beginning of the second half, they motion Kaufman out of the backfield to try to do a little window dressing. They try to hit the slant right across the middle. Nicely thrown ball. Wheelwright should have got his hands on that, and that could have been a touchdown. That went right through his palms.
Very catchable ball by Wickersham. Second down. Coy Moore in motion. Wickersham with a big hole. He'll stop. It closes. He goes down. Goes down to the 15-yard line.
That's what you don't want to take right here in overtime. You don't want to take the sack.
Linus Noel.
Well, we've called his name a few times tonight. He's got, again, to Wickersham. Again, that offensive line just can't hold out the defensive line from Curtis. They can't give Wickersham the time he needs. They need to throw the ball quick, get the ball out of his hands a lot sooner on the quick passing game.
Third down. Flag thrown. Hold everything. Somebody moved and they're looking defense. They're looking at the defense. Pointing toward the defense.
Somebody lined up in the neutral zone.
Encroachment, defense, number 38. 5-yard penalty. Replay third down.
Wow. Well, for J.T. Curtis, win number 592. I don't know if he ever thought it would be this hard. He's got 591, but it's been a while since he said to work this hard for a victory, and in this case, working for 592. Third down again. Wickersham. Here comes the pressure. Oh, he's got way outside all by himself. Logan Diggs on a wheel right touchdown on the wheel route. Wide open Logan Diggs. My goodness, 10 yards and the score.
They get him out of the backfield on the wheel route right there. There's nobody out there to cover him. They ran everybody off in man coverage. Nobody covered Diggs out of the backfield. Coy Moore did a great job out there also, but everybody jumps Coy Moore, but nobody jumps on Diggs. They leave him wide open on the wheel route. Great call, great execution by the Raiders to take the lead in overtime.
Like Coy Moore goes inside, and everybody goes with him and leaves Logan Diggs so wide open it was scary. And Rummel scores first and gets a touchdown. Their first lead of the night coming in overtime, 21-14. My goodness, what a play. And go back, when you look at that, I know Logan Diggs comes so wide open, but now you better look at Coy Moore and what he did to get Diggs that wide open.
Well, Coy Moore runs a slant route. Everybody jumps the slant route right there, and they run slant rail. Common route combination. It's just a bust by the secondary and the defense of Curtis, one of their few tonight. They didn't have many busts. They did what they had to do. They just busted that coverage right there and left Diggs wide open down the boundary.
You know, you were watching J.T. Curtis because nothing's worked in the second half. Not the passing game, not the running game. They try it straight up the middle. Shane Goins. Flags go down now. Look out. Jordan Williams on the stop.
I think they're going to have Aaron
Play
Thomas.
is over. Unnecessary roughness. Number 35. Defense have the distance to the goal.
Not smart. Not smart.
Oh, wow,
Aaron
wow.
Thomas, a little rough after the give. You can see it right here, slinging around an offensive lineman. Can't tell the number of the offensive lineman. It was number 68, Pizzoletto. And just not smart. Right there, it moves it half the distance to the goal line, puts it at the 3-yard line after a 5-yard pickup by Shane Goins.
While Rummel has been great at shutting down the big play, it's hard to shut down the Beer when they've only got 3 yards to go, 2 yards to go, and you've got 3 downs to get it.
Well, it's the perfect offense for a 10-yard game.
So it's second down. It's not an automatic first down with that penalty. Here's your second down play. Guggenheim on the keeper, and he'll walk in. Touchdown.
Nobody takes the quarterback off of the Veer.
Touchdown,
Again,
Colin
they
Guggenheim.
block the linebacker. They load the linebacker. Guggenheim says go for two. Let's see if they get outvoted by the coaching staff. He wants to go for two. He wants to put an end to it right now.
Well, watch the swinging gate. Keep an eye on it. Rummel is. Will they call timeout? They will. Curtis calls timeout to talk about it. So they may be thinking two. You can see Guggenheim right away without hesitation.
Great job right there off of the read by Guggenheim. He disconnects that ball. Nobody's there. The linebacker got blocked. Another touchdown for Guggenheim. He's a scoring machine. He's had 17 touchdowns coming in tonight. I think that's his 18th touchdown on the season now.
Well, Army cadets, are you watching? Are you watching? Tulane, are you watching? Because you're going to have to face him for the next 4 years. Of course, you'll face him with guys like Aaron Thomas on your defense and Angelo Anderson. So, one from each team. All right, here we go. What's coming? Is it two or is it one? It's two.
Looks like Guggenheim's back on the field. Looks like they're going to go for two. They're going to put it into it right here.
They're going to either win it or lose it on this play.
Well, don't be surprised if they sprint Guggenheim out here somehow and let him have the option to either run or pass the ball.
Well, remember.
Oh my goodness, they just ran a receiver on the field at the last second. That should have been illegal participation.
They only had 10 on the field. They can do that. And they give to Goins. Goins is pushing straight ahead. He's pushing straight ahead. He's pushed back. He did not get it.
And that's it.
Rummel comes up with the football. And Rummel has pulled off the monumental upset of 11th ranked nationally John Curtis in the Super 25, the number 1 ranked Crescent City sports team in the state. Crescent. Oh my goodness.
Guggenheim keeps the ball off of the veer. He's pushing forward to get into the end zone. He's pushing. Donovan Kaufman rips the ball out of his hands. Here's a look at the deciding play right here. There's the read. He keeps. He follows. You can't really tell in that jumbled mess in there, but he doesn't get anywhere near the goal line. Kaufman rips it out of his arm.
Who's pushed back. My goodness.
Another look at it right there. Great read, follow. Doesn't get anywhere near it. Great job by that Rummel defense, especially in the second half. That's the name of the game right there. The Rummel defense and how they played in this second half was phenomenal.
J.T. Curtis walking out to meet Nick Monica at the field, and we'll be back to wrap this one up. What a game! 21-20 Rummel. Overtime.
The Ronnie Lamar used car superstore. When you walk in it, you're going to say, wow. For your lifestyle and budget in mind. It's not Wall Street money. It's Mealy Street money from Araby, Louisiana, where I grew up as a kid. Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignment, struts, servicing your transmission, and we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. You're going to love the experience.
Louisiana Dental Center, your dental home team.
Crescent City Sports on Cox Sports Television is brought to you by Lamarck Ford. See all the huge things happening at the big store in Kenner. By the All-State Sugar Bowl, sponsor of all LHSAA championship events. By NOLA Lending Group, your home field advantage. By Riverlands Insurance, meeting all your insurance needs. And by Louisiana Dental Centers, your dental home team. Well, this one is over, in history made tonight by Rummel with a 21-20 overtime win over John Curtis, who chose to go for 2 in the first overtime. Instead of kicking the extra point and playing further, they chose to go for 2, going stop before he could get to the end zone in a rugby scrum, and Rummel walks away with the victory. The defense pulled it off for Rummel.
Look, I like the call. I like the call by the Curtis offense. I think it's a great call. You're going to put the ball in Guggenheim's hands, which is, how many games has he won for these guys? I think it's a gutsy call. I think it's the right call. It just didn't work out. Credit the Rummel defense for stepping up tonight to being able to do what they need to do in order to get this win.
We're joined by Nick Monica, first-year head football coach after 14 years as an assistant and 14 years as the head baseball coach. He gets the biggest win of any time in his career with this victory tonight over. Hey, congratulations, Nick Monica. Tell us about the elation going on right now in your own head and with your team.
I don't know, after the first quarter, I wouldn't have guessed this, but we talked to our kids about just keeping it cool, adversity. We knew this wasn't going to be easy, and they were going to have to fight for everything that they got, and they just kept clawing, and all the way down to the very last yard, and it worked out for us.
Nick, I was surprised to see him go for 2. Did you expect that?
Yes. We actually were contemplating the same thing if we had got the ball second, and we thought it, and then we saw the kicker run out, and then when they called the timeout, we knew that. And after how easy they scored the overtime touchdown, we had a pretty good idea that they were going to come back with it. So.
Nick, I also like the adjustments you made on defense. You stayed in your 5-man front, but yeah, I saw you slide in your front a little bit into an overlook. I thought that was a great adjustment in the second half. Tell me, what did you say to your defense in the locker room at halftime to put a little spark into them?
Well, that was the worst quarter or half of football we played all year, and we had only given up 2 touchdowns. And really, if we got off the field on a couple third downs, it would have been even better than that. So we needed to fix third down defense, of course, and then we just cleaned up a couple things. Played it a little bit better. I think that's the one thing you can't prepare for with these guys is the speed and where the ball is going to hit. And after adjusting to it a couple series, I think we settled down and played a little bit better.
But Nick, adjusting to it's one thing. Totally shutting down the Veer offense and shutting down every big play. That's something special. So it's more than just assignment football. Yeah, no doubt, especially with the skill that they have, because you miss one tackle, you take one false step, and it's a touchdown. And you got to hold your breath every time. Either 3 or 14 have the ball. But our guys did a good job of just continuing to play, and our offense came up with some big plays, and just overall, just absolutely proud of these guys. Nick, congratulations on this historic win.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you very much for talking with us for a little bit.
Appreciate it.
Well, I'll tell you, Wade, it's a historic win. There's no other way you can say it. And I am surprised that Curtis went for 2. Nobody else was. I'm probably the only one.
I think it was a great call. I think it was a great call. You put the ball in the hands of Guggenheim, which is your winner, and I don't blame them in the bit. I think I would have gone for 2 in that situation also. Been there, done that. You heard what Nick Monica said. He would have probably gone for 2 if it would have ended up in that situation. What we had here tonight was great high school football. Great high school football, which makes for the way the game should be played, and 2 great programs, 2 great coaching staffs did a great job. You saw adjustments all night long by both teams, which is a credit to these 2 great programs. And we might see them again. You never know what's going to happen with this non-select Division I bracket that they're going to both be going into. They could both end up on both sides of the bracket and end up playing each other, maybe in the state finals.
Yeah, 23 straight district wins. That streak comes to an end for Curtis at the hands of the Rummel defense, and what a job that was. Hope you enjoyed this game as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you, and want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Crescent City Sports has more high school football tomorrow when Archbishop Shaw faces St. Augustine at Tad Gormley Stadium, and live streaming action all the way to the state championship games. So for Wade Kaiser and our entire crew, who brought you some great pictures and a great game tonight, I'm Ken Berthelot saying so long from Joe Yenny Stadium in Metairie. Once again, your final score in overtime is Rummel 21 and John Curtis 20. From Metairie, good night, everybody.